Unfucking believable. Goose with the 5. Appreciate you so much, man. Appreciate you so fucking much. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Oh fuck. Oh, Ezra was gonna come in that debate. Fuck. He was gonna come in that debate too. That's another fucking Devad deleted. Hold on, give me a sec. I just deleted a bunch of shit. Give me a sec. Three hours of our fucking VOD is gone. 3 hours of the VOD is gone, right? So this is gonna look like a stupid 2-hour VOD when it's done or something. But whatever. Okay, let's continue. Chai is in VC. Let me see. Give me a sec. This could be an alt. Hello? Chai? Raise your mic volume. Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
you come in Austin?
Not yet. I have to plan it. Like, the way my bank account's set up.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm job hunting right now, right? To get, like, a different job that pays better so that way I can have more of a steady stream schedule because I can't just, like, stream for a living yet.
Oh, yeah, okay, I
So,
understand.
like, I can't just, like, be mobile like you can.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know, I gotta pay bills. Be
So, what's up?
responsible. I'm not really here to, like, debate you, and you're not gonna have to delete your VOD because of me anyway, but, like, if you're trying to debate someone else, like, I'm trying to be your backup. Like, if you're like, "Nah, you're fucking stupid for that," I'd be like, "Yeah, fucking dumb." Like, you know what I mean?
All right. Does anyone else want to challenge both me and Chai to a
Yeah, I
debate?
don't know what the fuck's going on, but Haas is right.
Okay.
So if I go to Texas and like we meet, like am I allowed to like hang out with other people? Like I just want your permission.
No, not when you. If you're coming to Texas with me,
Okay.
then you yeah. When you get home,
All
you can
right.
do whatever you want. But like, as long as you're chilling with me, then yeah, you can't talk to other
I
guys.
just wanted to make sure, like
Yeah,
I'm not hanging out with nobody. It's like a dedicated Haas vacation.
yeah,
Haascation.
yeah. I mean, that's a given. I don't even know why you would ask that. Like,
I just
really?
wanted to make sure.
That's really weird to ask. I don't even know why you would ask that.
It's not weird to ask. I wanted consent. Like I'm just asking you like for permission. If that's not okay,
Yeah, you
okay.
won't be thinking about other guys, okay?
No, I'll be like, yeah, I'm in Texas, but sorry, like maybe next time we can hang out. Too bad.
Yeah. So you so hold on. So you're coming to Texas?
Not yet, but eventually I would like to.
I'm literally going. I'm gonna be there by Wednesday. 2 days.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah,
hope you have fun.
yeah. So
And
you're actually not in Austin, Texas?
No, I debated on moving to Austin because of like living situations, but then it ended up working out around my own area still. So I didn't move halfway across the country yet, but I thought about it.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't
I
know
have
if
some
anyone's gonna
friends that
come
are
to
like
debate. It looks like
smaller.
everyone's too scared. Hold on, let me see.
Why are they afraid?
Everyone's really scared to debate me now because I pretty much destroyed everyone.
Well, that's a given, but like, what did they expect? They're really not coming. But didn't you ban like two of them?
Yeah, because they said TOS shit.
Yo, can someone from chat come debate us? Like, I don't care what it's about. Try and convince me ketchup belongs on macaroni and
Jai, you
cheese. You're
realize
never gonna win.
associating with me is very dangerous. You know that, right?
Why? For what?
Because
I can associate with anyone. I don't give a fuck.
because I have a target on my back from all corners of the
So what
internet.
are they gonna target me for?
I don't know. I'm just letting you know. Very dangerous.
Yeah, come at me. Haz, do you know that I'm prior military?
Really?
Yeah, come after me.
Damn. Okay. I
My
like
first time
that.
shooting a gun ever, I was one shot off of expert. Like, no cap. I was so mad because if you get expert, you get a little medal too. You don't just get the ribbon. I was trying to flex.
Based. That's actually cool.
I didn't do anything like, some killer shit. I was in the Navy and I was like a mass communication specialist. So I did photo, video, journalism, news writing, printing, basically Twitch.
Nice. So who do you know on Twitch? Who do you associate with?
So I joined through, I don't know if you know who Claw is, but before he got banned, he did Survivor streams and I would go on them. And then I don't know if you know who Yas TV is, but he holds a shit cast. And when I say it's a shit cast, I mean, like, I don't know why I still go to it, but I support Yas as a person. Clint1717, he's a homie. Like, I don't know if you
Oh,
know who
all those
Mekonga
people. Those are all the
is.
Austin people.
Yeah, so if I were to
Yeah.
go to Austin, it'd be kind of cool to like just say hi to the people that I've been like friends with, quote unquote, because you never know for like the past
Yeah.
9 months.
Did you know? Hold on. So you've talked to the giant hamster?
Who's the giant hamster?
You know who I'm talking about?
Who is that?
He's gone.
Oh, that one. He shits on me occasionally in chats. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um. Hold on. Someone's in show queue. Who's this guy? Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Hello. Hello. What? Their mic is muted as usual. Oh, it's a real sword. It's from a blacksmith, like an ancient sword thousands of years ago. Yeah. The energy sword? Really? You can't dual wield energy swords. You should get a gravity hammer. No, you should get me a gravity hammer. Alright, this guy's getting banned. He's not talking. Yeah, I think the debates are over, honestly. I don't think anyone's gonna debate me anymore.
Wow. Debate.
There's that one kid. Damn. We actually have a lot to cover. Holy fuck.
Are there any alphas in the chat that want to debate?
No? What do you mean, alphas?
No? I'm sorry, do you not like that term here?
They're all betas. Every challenger who listen, everyone who challenges me is a beta until proven otherwise.
Oh.
Yeah. The minute someone can beat me in a debate, they can take my place and they can take my title. They can also take you.
Why does Haas scare you, chat? I don't get that. Haas doesn't scare me.
Because a lot of people like to talk shit about me, but they don't back it up with anything. You know, like they talk shit and they don't put nothing on the line to back it up. A lot of these people on Twitter who talk shit about me, if you heard how they sounded, you would feel bad for them.
I don't want to debate Haas. We have a mutual agreement. But one of you guys should come up here with some bullshit. Nothing TOS, but just like say some dumb shit, please. Let me pop off. I respect Haas. Okay, if you respect him, give him a challenge. What are you doing?
No, listen. It's only my enemies that don't come out of the woodwork to debate me because they're fucking scared. They're pussies. You know, like, oh yeah, there's that new Channel 5 video. I forgot about that. But yeah, I have a lot of haters. And, you know, like, if you're gonna be orbiting around me, you have to have very thick skin. Like very, very thick skin.
I very much so do.
Yeah.
I've been called so many. Like I grew up on the internet, so
have
like,
you
I've been called
gotten canceled
so much
yet?
shit. No, what the fuck? You can't get canceled unless you allow yourself to be canceled.
That's true.
No, I would never let myself get canceled.
Yeah, they try to do that to me every day, but I'm still waiting to get canceled.
See, I'm not on like a radar or anything. I'm really on no one's radar yet, so like nobody really gives a shit.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like I'm fucking with her for right now, but we'll get there.
So, what's probably gonna happen? So you're on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
So Christmas, there's gonna be another vacation.
Okay.
You'll come on Christmas, right?
On Christmas, you want me to just leave everyone for
no,
Christmas?
Not on Christmas, but around Christmas time.
We'll talk details, maybe.
Yeah, but you know, I
have
a request
after the new year. You know, like tax money.
Yeah, but I plan on dressing up as no, don't worry, I'll fly you out. I plan on dressing up as Santa Claus. Can you dress up as Mrs. Claus?
I already have a costume, and I can sing Santa Baby.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. So what's basically gonna happen is you have to understand that chat is like the children who are sleeping, waiting for a present under the Christmas tree, right?
Okay.
And some of our mods are the elves, and you will be my Mrs. Claus, and I'll be Santa Claus.
Okay, I can't wait to bake the cookies.
Okay, okay. So basically, we'll basically like ask chat what they want for Christmas, right?
Can you get back to work on the pop-up toys? Thank you. Thank you.
So you're basically
He's not paying for Women's Squad W.
No,
He's
you're
just
paying for the whole
transferring
trip,
his
right?
assets. Are you kidding me?
Wait, you're
Like,
gonna be paying
I'm
for the whole
property
trip,
now.
right?
He just has to move his property. Like, you don't understand. Like, this is just him taking care of his own property now.
That's actually a really good way to put it, actually. But
Right. Like,
you're gonna be paying for everything though, right?
let me just grind on my other platform, maybe.
Yeah. What about all that other money you make?
Well, I mean, I'm chilling. You know, I definitely want to get a better job and like make bank. But like, if I need to make some cash, I got it.
Damn. The guy is back in show Q. He said he fixed his mic. All right, I don't want you to get caught in the crossfire, you know, because if you get hurt, like, I want you to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
I can take care of myself plenty, baby.
no,
don't
I
worry.
know, but you know, like, if you, this is like a really big, intense.
Yeah,
battle,
bring them back in here. Let's see what's up.
No, I don't want you to get caught in the.
Oh, you want to debate solo? How can I be your hype man?
You're not my hype man.
I want to hype you up.
Listen, you will hype me up in other ways, okay?
That's true. I get your blood pumping. All right, have fun debating some person who's going to lose anyway.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, let's bring this guy on. What? This is the fixed mic? Hello? What? This is so fucking tiring. This is so exhausting. I swear to God, it's so exhausting. I swear to God, this is so fucking exhausting. This is literally just fucking exhausting. This is actually fucking ridiculous. I swear this is actually fucking ridiculous. Look, we have shit that we actually have to cover, okay? We actually have shit to cover. So, I don't know why my time is being wasted this way. But you know what? We're banning this guy. This guy's getting banned. We're not doing this shit. You're getting banned. Goodbye. That's a simple ban. That's a simple ban, okay? That's the easiest ban I've ever fucking done in my life. Okay, and yeah. That's absolutely abysmal. He said he fixed it. He didn't fix shit, dude. He didn't fix shit. So we're gonna check the Reddit for a sec, and then we're gonna go watch the Channel 5. Everyone like this tweet. Like this fucking tweet. First of all, first order of business, like this fucking tweet. Go ahead and like this tweet. Get it to 400 likes. 400 likes. Like this tweet, 400 likes. 400 likes. Get to it. Get to it. Get to it. 400 likes. Letting these bitch ass people ratio me. 400 likes, get to it. Gonna get the 400 likes, get to it. This is what we gotta do to keep the stream going. To continue the stream, we're gonna get this to 400. This guy goes, no, I don't think I will. Really? You won't? You won't? Come back in 7 days and reflect upon why you won't do that. You just lost 7 days of chatting privileges by not doing it. Everybody go like the tweet. I'll fly with you. It's so funny because on Twitter it seems like everyone hates me. Seems like everyone hates me, right, guys? Listen, I am literally, you love me or you hate me. You love me with absolute fanatical devotion, just like a Mongol warrior loves their Khan. Or you fucking hate my guts with every fiber of your being. There's no in between. And there's nothing on the fucking internet that's like this community. Every fucking time I go live, I remember why I'm causing such a fucking ruckus. You understand? Because when I'm on Twitter by myself and I'm taking a shit, I'm like, damn, I got a lot of people coming after me. Damn, a lot of people hate me. But then when I go live, I'm like, fuck, this is why. Look at all of those gorillas and sons in the chat. Damn, that's why. This is what it's about. That's what they're trying to fight. They're not even making it personal. It's not even personally against me. They're fighting against this community. You understand? They're fighting against our community. Damn. Bosch is trending? Why? Let me see why. Everyone like this? 400. Get it to 400. Why is Bosch trending? He claimed Fred Hampton. You know what? Vaush claimed Fred Hampton. But you want to know what's even worse than Vaush claiming Fred Hampton? Western leftists in general claiming Fred Hampton. That's what's really fucked up. That's what's really fucked up. You know what's even worse than Vaush claiming Fred Hampton? Politically correct lefty MLs claiming Fred Hampton. That's way worse, by the way. When Vaush does it, you know he's a dumb fuck. You don't even, whatever. When you have literal Baizwo MLs who are politically correct and shit doing that, that's way fucking worse. I want you guys to understand something about what infrared is, what our style is. What are we about? Are they fascists? No! We are militant. We are the militant infrared. We are descended from Mongol warriors. The bloodline of Genghis Khan runs through our fucking veins. We are militant. And we're a different type of tanky. Oh, let me show y'all something. Hold on. 400 likes and then we're going to move on. I have something to show you. 400 likes. What is this 343 bullshit? 400 likes. 400 likes. Doesn't Haz always cry about Islamophobia? No, I don't. Actually, I don't. I genuinely don't. Y'all are the ones crying about... Never mind. All I gotta say is, I'm not the one who's gotta hide behind a fortress. That's all I gotta say. I'm not the one who's gotta fucking hide behind a fortress here. My blade swings like a circle. My blade swings and slices through the air like ease. You understand? I'm not the one who's gotta hide behind a fucking fortress. I am not the one who's got to hide behind a fortress. What is 349? Are you guys just lazy? Is this just a laziness thing? Is this just a laziness thing? I think it's just a laziness thing, isn't it? It's just a laziness thing, maybe? Is it just a laziness thing? Okay, the patriotism video, I'm pretty sure is like almost done. Like, I think it's actually done, isn't it? Give it a few hours. I think it's done. Patriotism video is done, but it's probably going to be released tomorrow. Pretty sure it's done. We have like the thumbnail and everything. Yeah, we're going to release that tomorrow. There's a new infrared vision video coming to, you know how high quality those infrared vision videos are. And by the way, guys, let me tell you what's I'm gonna tell you the protocol for these infrared vision videos, right? For this one, if we don't get 25k views in 2 weeks, 25k views, we are gonna ban 250 people from our community at random. Random purge of 250. So that's your incentive. Spread if you don't want to be a part of those 250, you better spread this video around far and wide. A lot of work has been put into it. A lot of work has been put into this video. You understand? 25k views in 2 weeks. Or we are banning 250 people from our community at random. Even mods can get banned. Even mods can get banned. We might even ban mods. If they get chosen in the lot, it's going to be a random lot. It's going to be a random sort. Whether you're a mod, I don't care who you are, every single person must have an incentive to spread this video far and wide. Across the whole aeons, across the internet, across the stratosphere. Across the universe. I want to listen. Can I listen to that? I want to listen to that song by Laibach.
Words are flying out like endless rain. Words are flying out like endless.
We're gonna spread this video that's coming out across the universe. Infrareds across the universe. Everyone fucking like this. 400 likes now. 400 likes now. Until we get 400, we're not budging, we're not moving. I don't know if you don't know how it works. Until this is 400, it's not budging.
Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes that call me on and on across the universe.
I have a great thing. Hold on. I have an ultimate Twitter response. Ready? Nothing's gonna change my world.
Nothing's gonna change.
Really stupid. You're getting bad. 350, 372. You knew it. You see how it needs to be 400? 400 likes. 400 likes. Here, you can take mine too. She said, really stupid, you did a bad job. I go, I guess I'll just take your word for it. He goes, here, you can take mine too. You did a bad job. That's my response. The universe. That's my response. What more needs to be said? Okay, hold on, give me a sec.
Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jai Guru Deva. 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 Words are flying out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass their sleep away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm dealing with fucking Airbnbs and shit. I'm gonna be going to an Airbnb when I get there. Nothing's gonna change my world. Yeah, guys, fuck, dude, I really, oh my god, dude, tonight I have to fucking, I gotta prepare, I gotta pack. Guys, I got a really good laptop, by the way. I got a really good laptop. Like, it was a pretty expensive laptop for streaming. I got a good streaming laptop. Okay? Let's see it. I don't have it. I'm gonna go pick it up tomorrow. I got it tomorrow for an in-store pickup. And tomorrow I'm gonna be going to pick it up. But, yeah, that's gonna be the official infrared. Okay, you guys wanna know the truth? You guys wanna know the truth? You guys wanna know the truth? I'm gonna get this laptop. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. I'm gonna take it to Austin. I'm gonna use it for a week. I'm gonna come back and return it. Oh shit! Yeah, 15 days. It's a 15-day return policy. Yeah, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. But that's my plan. Don't tell nobody. Nothing's gonna change my world. I'm a good capitalist, you understand? I play the game. I don't know why. Why doesn't everyone just do that? Why doesn't everyone just go to, just do that? But this is a laptop that I'll probably be able to game on. I could probably game on this fucking laptop. I could probably game on it. right? But what would I play? Oh, Minecraft! Fuck! I'm gonna fucking yeah! I'm gonna have the Minecraft with this laptop. Nothing's gonna change my world. What brand? I got a Asus. I got the Asus. I got an Asus. I got a really sick laptop. It's got a Ryzen 9 because I got the best CPU they could get so I could stream with it. I could have a good stream. Did you make up with Zerka? What up, Kelly? Yeah, no, that's... I really want to, like, hammer it home that that's not... That ain't gonna be, happening. What's up with Slicker? What's going on with Slicker? What about Slicker? It is a Halloween Royale on Wednesday. Yeah, I got nothing to do with that. I got nothing to do with that. Halloween was Slicker? Why? Oh, he's gonna be on the Royale, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not... Is Slicker gonna be in Austin? I don't know why you're talking about Slicker. How? Yeah. Collab with Slicker? How? The fuck? How? And based on what? Slicker does kind of have a point. Like one time Slicker, I was in his chat and I subbed to him, and he was like, "Oh, is that infrared? Infrared! Come on the VC, get in the Discord. We have something to talk about." And I was like, "Oh shit, okay." I talked Slicker, so I got in VC with him, and he said, "You got debated." He ended stream. Yeah, we're stuck here because everyone's too lazy to like it. And you guys think I'm joking when I say 400? And nobody's disciplined in here. Nobody's disciplined, okay? You think it's a joke? You only need 13... Look, for the 13 people who are not liking this, and I know they're in the chat, the 13 people who are not liking this are holding everyone back. Paper win with the 5. Thank you so much. The people not liking this are just... They're holding us back. The 10 people are holding us back. There's 10 people holding us back. 8 people holding us back. We got 8 people. 8 whole ass people holding us back. Haz, you're a Twitch streamer. You're a Twitch streamer. Haz, you know you're a Twitch streamer? Yeah? What about it? Wow, you're a Twitch streamer. You're a Twitch streamer, Haz. You're a Twitch... Thank you, Jira. So what? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have been a podcaster, right? I should have been a podcaster. Okay, let me be a podcaster. This is a podcaster, right? Ready for the podcasting? First of all, this is the most important part. How are you guys doing? I had a really good day today. I got some coffee, and so I really wanted to talk about, like, how are we gonna bring democratic socialism in order for the true workers, the Netflix employees. Yeah, like, I am a democratic socialist, and I am a podcaster from Brooklyn, and I'm the dirtbag left. Yeah, I'm the dirtbag left, and what the dirtbag left means is that we're still just as politically correct, and we still hold to all of the beliefs of all those people, but the main difference is that, we say the N-word in private. Ha 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 ha! Yeah, one sec. Give me one sec.
Words are flying out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass their sleep away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes that call me on and on across the universe. Turns me on like a restless swing inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of earth are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love, it shines around me like a million suns. It pulls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva.
Okay, fuck. I was dealing with fucking crazy shit with like the reservation. Damn, dude, this has been stressful. This is all Austin. This is about Austin. Oh god, guys. I hope, you guys better be hyped for this Austin shit. Cause, this is gonna be some shit, okay? I'm gonna be in Austin. I'm gonna be around and about in Austin, Texas. You understand? Austin, I'm gonna be me and Jackson and a few others. This shit is gonna be lit. You understand? A lot of planning has gone into this. You understand? Okay, let's exit out of that. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. I'm supposed to be getting on that podcast of, what's the guy's name? Class Redux.
gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world.
Guys, what's gonna change my world? What's gonna change my world? What's gonna change my world? Tell me, Chet. Tell me. Tell me what's gonna change my world. Go ahead. Tell me.
Sounds of laughter, shades of earth are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me.
Across the universe.
Limitless undying
Oh, Slicker's live. Why?
shines around me like
Why is Slicker live?
a sun. It pulls me
What the fuck is he doing? Playing Among Us?
across the
Oh, he's been alive for 18 hours. Oh, he's sleeping right now. The fuck? Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. We're gonna watch this reparations thing.
Nothing's gonna change my world. Jai Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva.
We have a lot of shit to cover. Wow.
Words are flying out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass their sleep. Waves of joy are
Okay,
through my open mind.
the first thing on the itinerary. The first thing on our itinerary is to address this image.
Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes.
That's very important. Okay, we do need to know what he meant by that. Erdogan promised to expel Western ambassadors, Western agents, and Western meddling. Wow, interesting. Question on nurses. Are nurses PMC? Here's my question. Why do you care? Why are you asking that question, whether they're PMC or not? Why do you care? Why do you care? Listen, all your questions about the PMC and class, I'm going to try to have them answered in my Substack. And when I'm on the airplane, I'm going to be typing on my laptop on the Substack. And I hope to complete the Substack on the airplane. Am I PMC? Am I Slytherin? Am I Gryffindor? Am I the proletariat? Am I a Pisces? Am I a Cancer? Am I an Aquarius? Shut the fuck up, man. You don't even know what you're asking. Why are you going to Texas? The same reason I go anywhere in this world. Big booty bitches. And you know what they say? Everything's bigger in Texas. No further comment. Nothing's gonna change my world. I'm just kidding. I'm going with Jackson because we were invited to go. I don't know. We're just going. We're just going on a vacation. We're gonna be doing Halloween shit in Texas, and there's some parties we're going to that are not going to be streamed, but we're just gonna like meet people, but we're not gonna stream it. So we're going to like a party on Friday, and it's not gonna be streamed. Why Jackson? What do you mean why Jackson? Jackson's like right now at this point, Jackson's like the only dude on Twitch that's adjacent to us, that's allied to us. Are you kidding? Why? What do you mean, why Jackson? That's just a dumb question. Okay, let's watch the Channel 5 thing. Channel 5 with Andrew Galligan. Okay, shut up. Okay, so I want to preface this. Is there any TOS in this video? Is there any TOS in this video? Hold on. Okay, let me tell you guys something. Remember that guy who was just in my VC a few hours ago, and he said he was marching for doing that shit. This is what's going on. I'm gonna expose to you the truth. Whenever these people say, I'm on the streets doing activism, I'm doing real stuff while you're a Twitch streamer. You're just a Twitch streamer while I'm doing real things in reality. I'm doing real shit. We're gonna see what that means. We're gonna investigate what this activism actually is and what's going on. Is the Destiny debate getting moved? Oh yeah. Let me actually message the guy and just see what's going on. Let me see what's going on. Fuck. I'm gonna let you guys vote. Oh, fuck. I might have to do that debate. What if we could keep the debate short and sweet? We just do the debate for 1 hour. So from 9 to 10, I'll just debate, and then I'll go to the party afterwards. Fuck. I think I'm just gonna go to the party. I don't know. Let me see if we can, Also, I don't plan on canceling, but I'm gonna be... Try to do the debate earlier. Yeah, so I want to message them. I'm going to ask them to do the debate earlier. You know, Destiny, I don't even know what we're going to be debating about. Oh, fuck me, man. Come on, show request. I had a contention regarding Netflix. Yes. 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 VC now. Guys, someone wants to come in VC. What's his name? X. Yeah, get in VC. He wants to talk about Netflix. Yeah, we're gonna have him come in VC. Okay. Hello. Yeah.
I want you to think that I'm gonna attack you or anything, but so I understand that the Netflix strike was definitely a movement of the professional managerial class.
Yeah.
But how would you feel if, let's say, maybe not Dave Chappelle, but some other comedian came on to stage and started saying takes, anti-Islam jokes, or maybe anti-China stuff like that. Like those sentiments are still held by most of the people of America, right? Would you say?
Yeah. I've seen comedians who said Islamophobic stuff. A lot growing up.
Yeah. But for the trans stuff, so would you say that's okay? Like with the anti-Islam jokes and stuff?
If you're gonna talk, so I'm a Muslim, right? So I can speak on this.
Yeah, my father's Muslim too.
If there's a comedian who's gonna go on stage and just be authentic about what they really think about Islam and Muslims, Because Dave Chappelle was just being super authentic about like where he's coming from, and he's joking and shit. I would actually see that as like someone who's genuinely interested in branching out and just actually initiating a kind of you know, a way to actually like come to a mutual understanding, right? So to me, let's say they were making fun of Islam and they were making fun of Muslims and all this kind of shit. You know, I think I would not have an issue with it. I'm gonna be honest. I would not have an issue with it.
Okay. I mean, is there like anywhere you would draw the line? Like, because do you know who Steven Crowder is, right?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you know, like he says like disgusting things, right? Like, would you agree with that? Like,
yeah,
probably too far
look,
things.
Here's the thing: is that I don't believe in canceling anyone. I believe in dealing with shit on its own terms. If you can't speak Dave Chappelle's language, or if you can't like channel your position through the language of comedy and be successful, I don't think there's any truth to the position. Like, if you can't like say the truth through comedy, I fundamentally don't believe your message has any meaning or truth to it whatsoever.
So there's truth in like what Dave Chappelle said about trans people. Like, I mean, I understand that. I understand there's truth in it because I understand like your perspective is like, you know, if it's genuinely held belief by, you know, the people, then there's some truth in it. But like,
no, that's not really that's not really where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from is that Dave Chappelle was expressing his honest and authentic, you know, understanding between what he perceives to be black people and the white LGBT community. Okay, so he's being very diplomatic, by the way. I should add, he's being extremely diplomatic. I know people from minority communities and from the black community, and if you really knew what their real views were on this kind of shit, like, you would not be able to interact with normal human beings. You know, like, I'm sorry, the shit people believe on the internet and what they believe in real life is very, very different.
Yeah, I agree with that. But like, is there, so there's kind of, you have to have some kind of tolerance for bigotry then? Like, is that like, would you agree with that? Like, if that's just kind of the sentiment, then that's,
what do you mean?
Like, you know, you're saying like the regular people, like, not, you know, on Twitter and shit like that, like, they don't hold the same beliefs
like,
about
you're
trans
labeling
rights
it as
like
bigotry,
that.
but I don't view it as bigotry. I don't know what you're talking about as bigotry.
Well, so, you know, I guess just the like poking fun. I know what you're saying. Like Dave Chappelle, it's not like he was, you know, severely.
So I want to see if you can address something Dave said, right?
Okay.
So Dave talked about how there was a hip hop artist who literally killed a guy.
Yeah,
and nobody
I'm
cared
with that situation. Yeah,
but when he said something insensitive about sexual minorities, it became an issue. What is up with that?
Well, when he killed that guy, it was self-defense. He didn't go to jail or anything like that. It was a self-defense.
But there's so many hip hop artists who have actually killed people, and it's not in self-defense. It's a part of, like, you know, some gang warfare, some shit. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
you don't get canceled.
You're right
for
about
shit
that.
like
You're
that.
right about that. But so we should say that's bad. So if the PMC all of a sudden says, okay, we're no longer we have a problem with you know, rappers talking about murder.
Yeah, but hold on.
To say,
I think you're looking at this from the wrong perspective, right? I am not trying to prescribe new cancellation measures. I'm just trying to understand truth. What does it mean that they don't care about this? I think that attests to the fact that cancellation culture is not about like real world harm and real world humanism or any of this kind of stuff. You know, it's something else entirely. But just trying to patch, like, let's say I point out there's a hole in your ship. If you run down to patch the hole, you're not addressing why there was a hole in your ship in the first place. And that's what Dave Chappelle is trying to say when it comes to like hip hop artists and rappers. They've literally murdered people. But when it comes to political correctness, like, no one cares. They only care if you say something insensitive or politically incorrect.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do understand that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know why that is. I mean, maybe you'd have some insight on that, but Yeah, you know, that's really all I want. I'm not going to debate you. Like, you know, like I said, I'm, you know, not a hater or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to see what you would say, if, you know, if instead of like trans jokes, he was telling like Islamophobic jokes or, you know, xenophobic jokes or something like that. Just to see if, you know, maybe the perspective would change. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's really all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I don't. So I think I struggle to understand something, right? I struggle to understand the way in which leftists try and filter reality through language, and I struggle to understand, like, isn't it just a copium mechanism? Isn't it a way of like avoiding what we authentically feel and believe in the name of like a strictly and purely moral language that is like held on bond of absolute morality? Like, if you don't be politically correct, then you may as well be like committing genocide against 5 trillion people, or, you know, a billion people. Like, it's just this extreme moral language where I feel like people adopt this politically correct mentality because they feel like if they're violating one you know, speech thing, they may as well be like that. It's like, it seems like the linchpin of their entire morality.
Well, I mean, would you agree that some speech has like, you know, real world like negative consequences? Like, you know, there's a lot of, you know, transphobia and stuff like that. And Dave Chappelle didn't do anything to prevent, you know, he kind of played into it, fed into it a little bit. And, you know, isn't it conceivable that, you know, like so a trans person might get murdered, you know, because they, you know, somebody thinks that they're, you know, not acceptable or whatever. Like, you know,
I just don't buy that. See, that's what I'm trying to talk about. Is like, people are saying like, oh, Dave Chappelle, because of his comedy skit, is going to lead to murder. I just think that's just so bizarre to me. Like, he was being politically incorrect and therefore murder. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why language is held to that standard of, like, it's held on bond of extinction and just death.
Well, I mean, so like, remember like a while ago in Georgia, there was that guy who went to like the Asian salons or parlors, whatever the hell it was, and like shut them up. Like, don't you think that maybe the media having like anti Chinese sentiment, like, you know, like saying like the, you know, coronavirus came from China or whatever, all this, you know, but a bunch of terrible stuff about China and the media and stuff like that. Like, don't you think that played into that occurring?
Yeah, but
like,
you could just as easily say that people who critique China's government, it leads to the same result, right? And I have no doubt that it does contribute to anti-Asian sentiment in the United States, especially right now. But, you know, to me, it's like, I don't think by suppressing speech, like, because here's the thing: when you're suppressing speech, you're actually doing something. You're not eliminating the speech. The act of suppressing it is changing the nature of the speech, right? And you have to account for that act of suppressing it, which means people are going to see that the way people are talking is no longer their authentic, spontaneous human behavior, but is based on like, you know, it's based on fear, and it's based on just this formal following of rules, and it just makes it impossible for people to actually talk about what they really think.
Yeah, and maybe it's just something that like changes naturally, like, you know, over the course of time, because, you know, obviously, I'm sure you would agree that the use of the N-word is unacceptable, and, you know, like that's like, if someone came out and said that, like, that's, you know, pretty egregious, right? Like, that's not like, you know, an acceptable use of language, right? Like,
yeah, but here's the thing: is that if you say that word, you're going to have real world consequences,
right?
Like, it's not like, you know, there's no like rules about language that exist.
Like, fundamentally, you're saying like there's no.
I mean, of course there's not. Materially speaking, there's no rules. Like, it's like this idea of talking about what is and what is not okay to say is entirely based on how people are is entirely based on what you mean to say, and therefore how people are going to react to it based on what you mean, right? But with political correctness, it's no longer the meaning of what people are saying. It's whether or not what they're saying is considered like, kosher or not, or halal or not, right? It's just like this very binary way of like, it also seems extremely arbitrary most of the time. As far as like what people can get canceled for or what you can and can't say, it's like, it seems like just because you give expression to the truths of reality, and by truths, I mean like the visceral, traumatic realities, just by giving expression to that, people confuse that with those realities themselves. So if someone says something racist, they assume that racism is reducible to that, and it's not. And you're just getting, it's a way of treating symptoms and not the disease. You're suppressing all of the symptoms, and the disease is more rampant than ever. White leftists have really succeeded in eliminating all the symptoms of white racism from their vocabulary, from their language, from their ideology, and from their explicit ideology and whatever. But they are the most racist fucking people in our society. And that's not accidental. The more you try to cleanse, hypocritically disguise how you really feel, the more that feeling goes unaddressed and just becomes stronger and stronger and is allowed to be taken for granted and fester. Whereas if there's an ignorant person who is racist to me, let's say as a Muslim, but it's a reflection of how they authentically think, then I can actually have a connection to their authentic beliefs through their language. I can talk to them. I can show by example, maybe. I can, maybe change their perception. But when you create such a vast disconnect between what people really feel and what they say, it becomes impossible to actually develop people's real fundamental racism and prejudices at a fundamental level.
So you think that there's some other symptom of, some kind of struggle that people have internally that leads to, them taking it out on trans people, or is that like, because, is it?
So when you're talking about violence against trans people, what are you referring to specifically?
I'm not. I mean, violence. Like, I believe like trans women, like, and I know how you feel about sex workers and stuff like that. But I believe like trans women who are sex workers are, much more likely to be murdered and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's still a thing, but they were in court. You could legally defend yourself with, saying that the person was trans and you went insane or something like that. But I mean, just there, there's also legislation and stuff like that that's being pushed just pretty arbitrarily based on the fact that they find trans people to be strange or whatever. Let me
ask you this question.
Perpetuating that.
So from what I know, from a lot of trans people that I know, the majority of trans people just want to live normal lives and be left alone, right? And live in their peace. But why are the people who claim to represent them adopting such extreme and just like out there views about the nature of gender and sexuality, which is really making their ability to live in peace like blackmailed by this absolutely maximalist, completely like ultra radical extremist ideology, according to which
not real and all this kind of
stuff. According to which gender is not real. Gender is just an arbitrary thing, and there are 75 genders that exist, and those kinds of things. It's like, why? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the standards are now, if I can even say this, but for example, I think most trans people believe in a gender binary, right?
Right. Yeah, because they're trying to express themselves as one or the other. Usually.
But as a meme, the idea when people say like there are only two genders, that has somehow become associated with anti-transgender sentiment, right?
Yeah.
But most trans people do believe there's only two genders.
Right. Well, yeah, probably. I don't know if that's, statistically true or not, but I think a lot of that, and we're both online people. Like, you know, I watch you and you're streaming online. So, you know, we spend a lot of time online, and I think a lot of this stuff is online. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think that that's
but-
like really like a thing that, you know, exists like in our politics and stuff like that.
I think one of the
maybe to some
things-
small degree, but
I think Chappelle's stance isn't that he's bigoted against people or he hates people. I think his stance is basically that there is no politically correct language. There's no copium language or ideology. This is a brutal, inconsistent, and contradictory reality. And Dave Chappelle fundamentally does believe, and he said this, that the only way to give expression to this reality is through comedy, right? By making fun of ourselves, by brutally talking about, like, by brutally exploiting through comedy these realities, just so that we can have a sense of truth, right? And that's why Dave Chappelle resonates with ordinary people so much, because, you know, when you tell people, Dave Chappelle, I don't think he has an issue with trans people at all. I think he has an issue with the idea that we can somehow like make language wholesome, and we can somehow all be at peace with the way in which we're given representation through language, for example. And you know, I just don't think that I just don't think
it's not bigotry, is what you're saying. It's like,
yeah, it's not bigotry. It's just like when you tell a black man, and this is from where he's coming from, when you tell a black man that he's got to submit to this cleansing, politically correct, wholesome language, and all the shit that, you know, where he's coming from, and, you know, his understanding of his own people's history and maybe his own history too, you know, you're really insulting him. You're telling him what? So this whole time it was just a matter of wholesome language? Like, fuck no. Without this unwholesome language, people who actually struggle in real life would not be able to make sense of their world. They wouldn't even be able to speak about their world. They wouldn't even be able to, like, acknowledge the truths of this world that you learn, right? And the truth is that, look, there's a lot of talk about oppression and struggle, right? But the hard truth is, people who are really struggling in this world have absolutely no, they don't have a politically correct bone in their body. People who really are struggling in this world will never try to make language the issue, right?
yeah.
And
Okay, so like, so then, like, I understand that. I totally understand that, but like, I don't think without the, I guess, stoking of the fire of this, like, especially, you know, Republicans are very good at kind of using these kind of issues to, you know, turn voters out and stuff like that. Like, I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that these people who may hold these beliefs care enough to, like, really, like, vote based on this, or, like, you know, consume based on, like, you know, like,
yeah, but
I
a
don't
lot
think
of the
that, like,
fear mongering comes from the fact that people are scared to acknowledge, and this is the truth, that sometimes conservatives are just right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes they're actually correct. You know, like, for example, this is my personal view. I don't think that children should have to question their gender and you know, have to choose what gender they are when they're children. I don't think that's, I fundamentally disagree with that, right?
but some authentically do. Some children, like, you know, trans
I don't believe
children,
that's
like,
possible. I don't believe a child knows enough about their gender and their sexuality to do that. And furthermore, I come from a cultural background where that is just unthinkable. That is absolutely so unthinkable. Like, the culture that I come from, if that was forced on us, right, and that's what they were teaching in schools, we would be going back to Lebanon. I promise you. That crosses the line beyond the threshold of just, that is just in, like, a child being told to question their gender, or entertaining a child's, you know, views on their own gender. That's just not conceivable. Now, as an adult, it's different, right? And as an adult, in conservative families, there could be trouble as an adult, but it could probably be resolved eventually. But, you know, I think people ignore the fact that, like, people have this idea that if we give any credit to conservatives, then all of leftism is just, like people get this tribalistic mentality. They just start to agree with anything leftists say, regardless of truth. Nobody cares about truth anymore. They just care about, like fucking what this means in the like people call me a fascist. And people call me, oh, Haas is a fascist and a right winger and all this shit. Not that I care, but it's like I don't know what they're trying to say because I was never part of their tribe and your tribe in the first place. Like I'm someone who speaks my mind. I say what I believe is true. And if you have to classify me and categorize me in some way, that's not really my problem. But it's just interesting that there's a classification for people who just fit outside of the politically correct bubble. And that everyone who's outside of that bubble is just a fascist. And that's just interesting how it just seems like you can't, that's just no way of proving that. Oh, everyone who's not in my bubble is a fascist. It's okay. Then if that's all fascism means, then 99% of this globe is fascist.
Fascist, yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah. The thing you said about how, where you come from, a child questioning their gender or whatever would be completely, out of bounds. But like, I mean, for, I don't want to, speak for you or anything like that, but like, a lot of cultures would probably, have much different views regarding like, women's rights too, so we don't say like, oh, we shouldn't teach like, women to have equal rights as men in school and stuff like that. Like, like, but in other cultures that would be completely,
look, if you have a conservative family that has different values, then I don't think a society, for example, if you have a Muslim family that has different values and they say you have to be abstinent before marriage, I don't think the society has a right to come and say, no, sex is safe and you can do it whenever you want. Just here, have a condom. Look, that's you could say that's a form of chauvinism against some cultures, right? It's like you're talking about women's rights, but this is what I always say is that the issue of women's rights is of no concern to Westerners at all when it comes to Islamic or Muslim culture. That is something entirely internal to what Muslim women themselves are, where they're coming from, right?
Right.
And some Muslim women completely agree with the West and are 100% westernized, but they're a very small minority. The majority of Muslim women in this world who are fighting for women's rights do not want to abandon the, let's say, traditional gender roles of Islamic civilization at their most fundamental level, according to which, there is a difference between men and women. Just in the sense of like they're not the same thing, and that sex is not just some like, like they don't want to create a culture of like fucking, complete sexual openness. Let's just say where like, everyone's completely casual and there's no boundaries or restrictions. That's just not where the majority of Muslim women are coming from. And they do have their own thing that they have going on, but that's not something you have to, something you have to address from the outside is what I'm trying to say. They have their own, issues with Muslim men and with gender issues and the role of women. They got their own thing going on, but you don't have to deal with that from the outside.
Okay. So, I mean, do you not think that maybe the state or maybe just the popular culture, I don't know if you think that I don't know. I think that most people don't, have any problem with trans people in America.
Yeah, I don't think they do either.
So,
but I think people get scared when people say, "Oh yeah, we want to expose your kids to start doubting what gender they are and introduce that kind of confusion." I think that terrifies the fuck out of people, right? And I don't think that makes them transphobic.
I don't know, but but I will say I think a lot of that and I don't. I'm not in school. I'm not in elementary school these days.
Specifically, one of the things I think doesn't resonate with the majority of people is the idea that gender is a choice. I think a lot of trans people don't agree that it's a choice. A lot of trans people don't say, oh, I just chose to become transgender.
Right. They didn't choose that. Yeah.
I was born this way. This is me who at my most fundamental. This is exactly, this is actually objectively me at my most real. Right? So this idea that it's just a choice, I think is just insulting to so many people because they realize it's not a choice, right? Like, it's about who you are. And the idea that you can abstract yourself from that and just like choose like a consumer doesn't resonate with most human beings.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the, what you're talking about. I didn't know that that's like a talking point personally, but like I think that's maybe like kind of like a bastardization of what people are the consensus around like what is like transgender and stuff like that. Because like a lot of conservatives would be like, oh, so what? I just wake up one day and now I'm a woman. Like, what is like that doesn't make any sense. Blah blah blah. Right? Like, I don't know if that's like really authentically what people are. How active like the transgender advocates.
Well,
and
listen, a lot of this stuff is top down and it comes from universities. And in the universities, that is what is being taught. It's being taught that, especially if you look at thinkers like Judith Butler and this idea of gender performativity, whatever the fuck, performativity, critical, they kind of just coming from this perspective like, oh yeah, gender is a complete arbitrary construct, and there's no, they make this distinction, gender essentialism versus gender subjectivism or whatever, where you can just choose whatever gender you feel comfortable with and you can just make everything fluid, and you should overthrow all binaries and binary genders and whatever. I just think that then people get out of the universities and they try to force this on normal people, and it doesn't work, right? And then they're taught to call those people reactionaries and fascists, where they never question whether they were coming from a place of reality to begin with.
Yeah. I I'm not sure like how much of that is like actually trickling down outside of like the internet. But so like just to kind of bring this back to Dave Chappelle, like I don't understand. Like I understand that maybe there's some kind of sentiment that he's expressing authentically and stuff like that, but like a lot of things that people maybe you have an issue with in life, like do you have to express that? And I mean, especially to millions of people on Netflix or whatever, like do you have to take out your or verbalize your like grievances with the world, like and especially with other people, like
I do, because I think the reason Dave Chappelle's dubbed, because this happened to him first. I don't actually know exactly what started it. I think he just told a joke and they tried to cancel him for it. And at that point, they declared war. And the reason he doubled down was because it wasn't only about the thing he was talking about anymore. It was also about taking a stance on this phenomena of trying to filter language and trying to make language somehow wholesome, which is antithetical not only to comedy, but to what Dave Chappelle thinks is truth. Right? He is genuinely trying to give expression to what he considers the truth. And, like, for example, I'll give you my example, right? Like, I have a lot of people, I had people before coming, they tried to debate me when it comes to misogyny, right? They were like, oh, Haas, what do you think about women? And I prefer to say, I hate women, fuck them, whatever. I'm misogynist. As being sarcastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it would really pain me. It would pain me and be unthinkable for me to be like, oh, women, oh, I really like women. I believe in women's equality. Like, that just seems so fake and inauthentic to me. I could never say that. And the reason I could never say that is because if I truly, had positive views about women, that has to be unspoken. To me, just to say that is constructing a fake world, an inauthentic world that actually doesn't give expression to the actual contradictions of reality. Like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna virtue signal? I think that's the issue. I don't want to virtue signal to these people and tell them that, you know, I'm safe for you. I'm wholesome for you. I'm part of your ideological universe. I'm part of your, you know, your discourse. I'm part of your language. I'm part of your tribe. It's okay. You can watch me. No, I don't believe that. Because here's the issue. When people have these purity testing things, we're like, oh, okay, Haas is safe. He said he actually really likes women and he's equality, whatever. Guess what? That's how people sneak shit in. That's how people get away with being sex pests and abusers and scumbags and pieces of shit. Because all they have to do is be formally politically correct. And then when it comes to who they are authentically, all the scumbags of the snakes get to fucking sneak in and get away with whatever the fuck they want. Right? So, like, a dude who's going around calling himself a feminist is basically telling people and women, okay, don't worry, I'm one of the safe ones. But the truth is, there's no such thing as a man who's not one of the safe ones. We're men. All men are fucking, in a way, dangerous. All men in a way are fucking strangers and just other men. And women have to trust men based on their personal character, at knowing them personally. You know what I mean? So, and that's not just the case with women. It's true for race. It's probably true for sexual minorities. It's true for anything. You can't make someone safe just because they're fucking being political. That's really dangerous. That's how children are starting to being victimized on the internet. Because all these wholesome Minecraft people and Fortnite, you know, YouTubers or whatever, oh, they're so safe and wholesome, but then behind the scenes, they're abusing children. Because you just gave that person a pass. You just gave them an ability to be like a good person just by reciting some formalistic bullshit, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I guess though, in the contrary, so if someone who's, you know, speaking against certain things, right? Like, don't you think that is giving some legitimacy, or like, I don't know. I just think that, you know, some speech that does genuinely have negative impacts, and like, I don't think that should be celebrated, or like, you know, I'm not saying cancel the guy or, you know, take his job, you know, all this kind of stuff.
But I don't think
if,
it has
if a lot
a
of people have a
negative
problem with what you're
impact.
saying, like that is also some kind of,
what,
you know,
what,
reality,
what
right?
do you think he said that would have a negative impact? For example,
I don't know. I think he like, you know, misgendered and you know, he kind of made a mockery of trans people, you know. I'm not saying he did it, you know, bigotedly or whatever, but a lot of people who are bigoted against trans people heard that and, you know, loved it, you know, they felt, you know, they felt reinforced. They felt, you know, like legitimized in their beliefs that like, this, yeah, trans people are weird, blah, blah, blah.
But what if Dave Chappelle fundamentally believes that everyone is worthy of mockery as a comedian, that we're all worthy of mockery because we live in an absurd world, and attempting to take ourselves seriously to such an extent that we can't be made fun of? He just doesn't believe that that's legitimate.
Yeah, I guess that would be fair, but I'm sure he would draw a line. Like, you know, like that's the thing. Like, you know, it's easy to kind of say that. Oh, I make fun of trans people, I make fun of everybody.
But
you
it's
know?
all based on the
not,
internal
you know?
logic of comedy. If he's crossing a line, it's no longer funny.
Well, I mean, it seems like, and you know, maybe, you know, I understand what your position completely. You know, you explained it very well. But like, you know, don't you think that like there is some legitimacy to the people that have a problem with it? Like, I mean, I know that you don't think it was across the line or anything like that, but it seems like a lot of people did. You know, probably millions of people, I would say. You know, like I'm sure a lot of people liked it too.
But those people
it's a controversial topic, right?
Those people are trying to. Those people are trying to like create an artificial and like alternative reality that's divorced from the majority of people, and I don't see why their fake reality.
Majority though, that's so I don't know. Like, so because they're in, let's just say they're in the minority of people, and they're trying to force this on the majority. Like is that still like so they should just shut up? Like,
what? Well, I mean, I don't. look, I don't know why we have an obligation to care about what they say, is what I'm trying to say when it comes to, like, why should Dave Chappelle have to worry about, or, you know,
I don't think he does, and I don't think he cares at all. You know, he said today, like he's like, I said what I said or whatever, right? And you know, he could feel that way or whatever. But if you know, people don't want to watch his specials anymore or whatever, I mean, he probably earned a lot of fans, you know, but he probably lost some too, you know. So like, I guess it's really just like the kind of like the court of public opinion at the end of the day. But you know, I think like. You're saying like, you know, he's being authentic himself, but I think would you not say that to them, to the people who have a problem with it?
Listen, here's what I think. I think the people who are upset with Dave Chappelle belong to a group of people heavily urbanized, isolated from the majority of Americans, who have made a pact. And they've made basically this pact. Yes, all of the things Dave Chappelle says, they acknowledge is true. They recognize the truth, right? That's when they say, oh, Dave Chappelle, you're not funny. That's just... Anyone can be bigoted because they fundamentally agree with him deep down, right? But they've made a pact, which is to say, I'm going to pretend that we live in a good world, and I'm going to pretend that we have a good discourse and a good language, and we're going to lie to ourselves, and the ability to lie to ourselves is the price of initiation into this politically correct culture. By proving you can lie about reality in the name of morality and virtue, and, you know, in the name of their twisted version of goodness, you're proving to them that you're one of them. And if you actually just tell the truth, just simply tell the truth, it's not that they don't know that you're correct and you're telling the truth. They do, but you're basically telling them, hey, your institutionalized culture, your way of discursively filtering reality on the basis of the way your institutions filter reality, your urbanized estrangement from the majority of people, the whole foundation and basis upon which you rest, yeah, that's bullshit and meaningless. And that means nothing, and I don't care about it, right? By Dave Chappelle doing that, he's basically committing an attack. It's a form of class warfare in a sense, right? Because if we're talking about a class whose literal material basis rests upon the institutionalized form by which they distinguish themselves from reality and create a special insular form of language and culture that's on the basis of the institutionalization of social life and cultural life, then for Dave Chappelle to defy these norms and defy these codes, these explicitly written codes, he's committing a form of class warfare against them. He's basically waging war against the professional managerial class.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I like I said, the Netflix strike definitely was, you know, PMC led, and definitely kind of resembled more of their ideology. Yeah, but you know, I guess you know, you're saying that Dave Chappelle was being authentic, and he, you know, a lot of people,
like, for example,
you know, authentically hold those beliefs.
Yeah, most people know that Dave Chappelle, he doesn't know all this dumb shit about like all this politically correct cultural. He's just speaking out of what his limited, but just the fact that he was speaking authentically, without any regard for politically correct language or culture, or giving them a tax, giving them their discursive tax. They were so outraged by the fact that this dude... Like, I'll give you an example of this. When a conservative comedian, a Republican comedian, right, goes into the camera and he tells jokes, he is specifically addressing the politically correct people, and he's saying, hey, fuck you, right? So they overlook it because they're like, okay, we know where he stands, right? He's against us. Here's our fortress, and those are the bad guys. So they get that. But Dave Chappelle's issue is that he literally just didn't even care about them. He didn't even acknowledge them. He was giving the egregious crime of Dave Chappelle, and this is the truth, is that he's giving expression to the fact that there is a more or less ideologically neutral reality. politically neutral reality, even in a sense. There's some authentic, truthful reality that you can give expression to without signaling to even either side, right? And that terrifies these gatekeepers who want to have a tax. They want to tax everyone who tries to talk about reality in some kind of way.
Yeah. So and then okay. So then, how is this different from like Steven Crowder? Like, is it just like
because Steven Crowder can't get over the politically correct people. He tries to go out of his way to Steven Crowder just still assumes that the only choice is between the politically correct and just the exact opposite of them, right? Which is going out of your way to be edgy. But there is a third alternative, which is basically giving expression to authentic truth without regard for what anyone thinks. Okay, Kelly Jeans and Show Q, why?
Yeah, feel free to let me go at any time, man. It's been great talking to you. So. All right, man. Peace out.
All right. Hold on. Okay, I'll bring Kelly Jean. Sick. Just looking through some stuff. The fuck, Leon Trotsky added me as a friend? No, thank you. Alright, I'll drag her up. Hello.
Hello. I wanted to join in with the let me just mute your stream before that becomes cancerous. Right. With the Dave Chappelle chat, but if you're already bored of it, that's
I don't care.
Okay. So you mentioned truth a lot as if Dave Chappelle's perspective is the correct one versus there being, more likely multiple perspectives with different opinions. When you say the truth, which parts of that are you referring to?
Well, he's just giving expression to what his authentic perspective is. That's all I mean. Like, he's just giving...
Oh, okay. So, like, his truth. Okay.
Yeah, he's just saying what he authentically believes.
I will say something for Dave Chappelle, and that is that to bag on him too much is to bag on the everyman, and that doesn't really it's not really conducive to social change in general. So I do obviously think that some of the more extreme leftist behaviors haven't really been helpful, but also I do think that a lot of valid criticism gets thrown out with the people that are like going out of their way to protest in crazy manners. Because I think there is a lot of valid criticism of a lot of the things that he said. But is it all from ignorance? I don't know. He does say during his show that he doesn't know a lot of things and then says them anyway.
Well, here's the issue, right? The real issue stems from the fact that, like, for example, you just talked about social change, right? And change.
Sure.
And, yeah, like, materially speaking, in our society, there has been an institutionalization of this kind of social utopia in which all cultural differences and conflicts and perceived inequalities will be resolved. And there's just some space of discourse and communication and action and culture and whatever.
Do you mean like PC people using political correctness as like a weapon?
It's not just political correctness, right? It's across the board. Just this like vacuum that urban people have created, where they think they can just premise authentic social realities on the basis of individual morality, just on the basis of pure morality. Like, oh, is this, like, for example, people are like, oh, is this okay or is this not okay? Is this good or is this bad? It's like people have this just fundamental doubt about every single intuitive thing that people just naturally people have this complete rejection and doubt for people's intuitions and instincts because they think, oh, our intuitions and instincts can be racist and can be, against the principles of equality or something. So they just completely foreclose and reject any.
Sorry to interrupt you. So if racism isn't intuitive, where do you think racism comes from? I'm not saying you're wrong by saying that. I just want to know what you're.
Well, I do think it is intuitive. I fundamentally think racism is unconscious and intuitive and not explicit. But the difference with me is that I don't think that the expressions of racism, I don't think that intuition is grounded in the sphere of moral action or lack thereof. I think it's grounded in like fundamental material realities, right? That can't be addressed by like moral action in general. Like it can't be addressed through language. It can't be addressed through institutionalized moral action. It can't be addressed through a type of like quote unquote praxis. It can only be developed and acknowledged truthfully. And I think that the truthful acknowledgement of these unconscious realities can reconcile, the contradictory expressions. Like, for example, a lot of people have turned the reparations issue, and this is what I'm about to watch that video right now, into like a one of moral, there has been a wrongdoing and we need to morally act to give black people reparations. But what about the fact that what if black people themselves simply want and are striving to have a solid economic foundation that they never had? What if they just want the chance that the rest of America had to have the 40 acres and a mule and just have some ground and land to stand on? Like, if they could have that, there will still be racial differences between different groups in America, but one group will have some ground to stand on and will thus be able to like not be in a position of like complete mercy.
You mean a period of equity will hopefully
not an equity, but they just
somewhat equality.
They won't have to just rely on white people's good graces and morality, is what I'm trying to say. Sure. to confront them, Like, there can be, like, a handshake, actual, real respect between, like, material equals. Not like, moral equals, but material equals, right? And to me, it's like, that's how I think about everything. So, I don't think of our society as, like, oh, we have a problem and we have to fix it by changing our society. What if we are just not being conservative enough in the sense that we're not understanding what our society is in the first place? Because what if when we discover what our society really is, the confusion and problems we're having in relation to it can be solved, right? What if the issue isn't that there's a problem with
Which
society?
conservative values do you think are not being...
I think just conservatism as such, just in the sense that, we aren't trying to change reality and voluntarily make it something else. We're trying to be faithful to what already is our reality.
Yeah, sure, but things have changed significantly over time, and what is conservative now probably would have been quite progressive 100 years ago. So that is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, but I
don't think conservatives are inherently bad in every position. I'm happy to listen, depending on what the topic is. Not too keen on them removing the rights for abortion and things like that, but it would depend.
I don't know. I think that this is something that I always say is like, if you go really back in time, at the fundamental level, things that you consider progressive today or whatever are so unthinkable or whatever. It's really not true, because the meaning these traditional and conservative roles used to have was just different. It had a different meaning, right? It's not that, for example, something... I fundamentally think in a strict sense of like the whole Whig dichotomy between progress and social progress and cultural progress, I really don't think anything changes. Like we are not more progressive culturally than we used to be 1,000 years ago, for example. It's just that 1,000 years ago, different roles and different cultures, things had different meaning. They meant something different entirely. Like today, for example.
I mean, women weren't allowed to own property, have a bank account, vote.
Yeah, but
have a job.
Today, so
from my perspective,
yeah. So today, if they're not allowed to have that
things.
today, the basic meaning of that is that women are not considered. Women are somehow less human. For example, that's what would be said, or somehow the meaning would be like women are being deprived, right? But 1,000 years ago, people didn't see this as an injustice because they just saw women's role and man's role just as something like coming from God or just something natural, and they just didn't question it, right? They didn't see these.
So how society was structured, you might want to probably focus on more like 100 to 200 years ago, because if we're talking 1,000 years ago, depending on the country, it's very different. And the roles that women played then were also very different. So when you say X amount of time ago, what kind of, you're thinking sort of women are always the homemakers, right?
Well, but the reason for that is it wasn't because of like some conspiracy of a specific system designed to keep women down. It was really because the meaning of different gender roles were attending to real human, like sexual realities. For example, with the family and raising children, that were in themselves just seen as like, it's not that like men created a system.
Can't we acknowledge that something didn't mean to be oppressive but ended up becoming that way? Like, I don't think men wanted to ruin women and stomp them into the dirt.
It can only be called oppressive. This is why I'm fundamentally conservative, because it could only become progressive after the meaning changed, right? With the introduction of like what we call the modern era, the meaning of these roles, these gender roles changed, and suddenly it became women are unable to participate in this kind of universal community that is the modern state and the republic, and they can't get education and they can't participate in the modern world.
Yes, I mean, so there were a number of people that used to try and say that women are too unintelligent to have the vote, in the same way that they used to try and say
but that was a reaction. That was just a reaction to that was like a cope, right? The truth was that there did come a point.
What do you think their justification was for it at the time?
But this is what a lot of progressive people don't understand, right? Those were not the justifications for the system that had been in place hundreds of years before. That was a reaction to a change, not a change, but a change of what those roles meant. And then ad hoc, they tried to justify these old roles, right? But before it became a controversy, like, let me put it this way, right? Just so we know what we're talking about. So for a long time, women didn't have the right to vote, right?
Sure.
But this wasn't premised by like some just conservative justification. This was based on what was considered like a self-evident reality. Like the meaning of that was very clear. But then there came a time by the time the women's suffrage movement came about, the meaning of not being able to vote changed. And people did react to it by trying to come up with justifications for women not being able to vote. But those justifications...
How can you be sure that they didn't think that before?
Because there's no evidence they did. Like, they didn't have to think that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some pretty old philosophers that used to think
the same thing is true for like monarchy, right? Monarchy is the best example of this. Before the modern era with democracies and the French Revolution and stuff, and the American War of Independence and the Enlightenment, people didn't consider like the king to be like, oh, we're all being oppressed by this king. It was just as like it was never called into question, right? When suddenly the meaning of being a king changed into something else, and at that moment, the people who were calling themselves conservatives, who wanted to preserve the monarchy, weren't actually real conservatives, because that was the new thing, actually.
I mean, throughout history, monarchy has been a problem. I mean, in the number of times like kings and queens have been attempted assassination or similar, or there have been revolutions of some kind.
But
So
they always led in
it's kind
other
of odd to say
monarchies.
monarchy was always okay when
It was before the before the modern era,
culpability.
before Enlightenment. Monarchy was like self-evident, like the idea of a universal state that outlives, that's not the same thing as a dynasty. You know, you had the Roman Republic and you had the Greek democracies, but there wasn't really an acknowledgement of statehood beyond the dynasty, beyond the sovereign and the monarch.
Okay, so what is this relating to, the monarchy?
Well, I'm just
relating
trying to
to?
say, like, shit does not really. I'm trying to say, I don't think things. In a sense, you could say things don't change. All that changes is the meaning. Like the meaning of the chess pieces changes, but the arrangement of the chessboard doesn't change.
I mean, even our monarchy has changed quite a lot.
Yeah,
So,
but I think everything
I don't
fundamentally
know about
stays. Everything fundamentally stays the same. You just have to translate it correctly. That's what I think.
You mean you think it's important to see things in the context of the time that we were in? I mean, I think that's true too. So obviously, I'm not going to judge people from X number of years ago with the same morals, ethics code that I have now, because I appreciate that's not a correct way to look at history. But I think it's probably a little bit
And you know, finally, this is what I'm finally saying.
short-sighted.
You know, revolution means a circle. It means going back to the origins. And all revolutionaries in history were people.
I mean, unfortunately, yes.
all revolutions in history were made by people who did want to go back to the past. Believe it or not.
Well, also a lot of poor people were usually just pissed off at the monarchy spending insane amounts of money whilst they could
but
barely afford to live.
poor people being pissed is not new, but people having this ideal of returning to the past, that is what made the French Revolution, right? The French Republic was based
Sure.
on the Roman Republic. People thought that they weren't saying we want to create like a new system. They were saying this monarchy
No,
is
they
a
were saying, fuck these people, they're awful.
yeah, and they were saying the monarchy was like a new thing, a new corruption of the ancient republic, the Roman Republic. That was the original thing, and we want to return to the republic, is where they were coming from, right? So
There was quite a lot of time in between the Romans and the French Revolution of that time period. I mean, Britain and France has had a very long and extensive and very boring history, so I won't go too much into that one. But I don't think the reason for revolution is always 100% the same, and the outcome certainly hasn't been 100% the same. And just because the people are poor, it doesn't necessarily mean they want a huge change, but they want a change. And they usually does become better for them to some extent afterwards. At least
Yeah.
it doesn't usually get worse.
I don't know.
Unless they're very unfortunate and then there's a famine.
I don't know. I mean, here's the ultimately the issue though is that, all I want to ever tell people is that reality's tough and that you can't filter your reality. Like, you have to face reality in all its toughness.
Yeah, I think so. My question, right? Sort of objective versus subjective reality and truth. So you were saying that what Dave Chappelle is the truth. You were saying truth quite a lot actually when you were talking about it.
Yeah.
And whilst I do think I'm not someone that's keen on cancelling people, although I will say that the majority of people never really get cancelled. And in some ways, he's probably benefited quite a lot from what he knew was going to be a pretty controversial. Like,
I mean,
there's no way he
well,
didn't know
I think,
that was going to piss people
but
off.
I think he's benefiting because of so many of the normal people who have gotten canceled, right? And he's seen as their hero, right? So he's benefiting just because this like political correct group of people are losing power now, right? And people are starting to wake up.
You say normal people. So you're not referring to any celebrities, internet personalities. What do you mean by normal people?
Like for example, somebody at a job who said the wrong joke and had his whole life ruined, right? Or even take me, like I'm canceled, and
you're still on Twitch.
yeah, I know, but I don't know.
That's not really cancelled.
I know, but I have some fame, right? I have supporters, I have an audience, and I'm exposing this whole process. But so many people across the country walk on eggshells. They get canceled. They have to worry about, they're getting deplatformed off platforms. There's so much of that goes on, and when they see people like Dave Chappelle stand up to these bullies, they really appreciate that. I think a lot of like lefties are like, they see how Dave Chappelle is so popular, like, oh my god, see, he's the oppressor and we're the victims. But what if the truth is that there's a reason why you're so unpopular compared to him, and it's because you're just wrong. And also, for example, when I get canceled, I usually am told things like, everyone's against you. Like, we're all against you. The whole world is against you. You're, you don't have any supporters. Everyone's making fun of you, whatever. Like, I get told that every day on Twitter. But suddenly when the tables are turned, they act like victims, So these people are used to bullying people and this getting into like these woke mobs and trying to cancel people. But as soon as like the actual power of ordinary people gets tapped into and unleashed, they act like they're the victims and Dave Chappelle's like an oppressor. Like this, that's just what I hate. It's like, if they were just doing all the bad things they do as individuals, maybe I would have some sympathy. But these are people who gang up on So this is what happens, right? Most of the silent majority of people are just individuals, right? And they get ganged up on by these woke, left, politically correct people on like social media, in their workplaces, in terms of their online identities, and their whole life gets destroyed. And they come to think that like, wow, everyone really does hate me. Like, I'm hated by everyone. I'm just a social outcast. All like the dynamics of like human social.
Sure. Also, I won't disagree that people on the left can be bullies, but I think that people on the right are also more than capable of being bullies. I don't really prescribe to political leaning, so this. But
I don't know. It's like the right wing people can be bullies, but they don't try. Like, it's less of an impact because they don't claim to speak on behalf of everyone. Right? Leftists are the ones who claim to speak on behalf of like the swarm of what really everyone in the popular groupies think, because we are the moral and correct ones. Right, like, to be right wing in this day and age literally just means to be a rebel. That's all it means. All right wing basically means is like, I think there's something wrong with our society, and I'm.
But conservatism is just keeping things the same, as you said earlier. Is that really being a rebel?
Yeah, but that's.
I mean, is it unpopular?
That's how it is today, though. Is that conservatives are really, in a way, like,
I'm not centrist either, chat. I just have a lot of opinions. And
haven't you noticed though that the biggest social critics are right wingers?
Social critics.
Yeah, like the biggest people who critique the system are right wingers. Like, leftists who critique the system are the very people who are institutionalized by the system, paid by the system, and even endorsed by the system, right? They're even given corporate platforms.
So the left have a habit of punching themselves. They're like a snake eating their own tail. We don't tend to
Yeah.
help ourselves too well. We have plenty of turfs in the left as much as there are in the right. Maybe even more.
Yeah,
Who
but
knows?
it seems like even if I don't agree with what right wingers say, I can still acknowledge that they're the only ones actually having a critical stance toward their societies and their countries. Like, and to me, having a critical stance, because let me put it this way: we live in socially engineered societies where the idea that we have to be progressives who are always socially changing things and changing the system, that's been domesticated and integrated by the system itself. If you go to a university or if you go to a dude, like every corporation says, we're creating the next revolution. Like being a quote unquote revolutionary has become corporate and it's become domesticated. But being a conservative is somehow way more disruptive to the system because you're outside of that you're outside of the progressive complex of like social, virtue signaling, social change and shit, and you actually end up being a way bigger force of change.
I mean, you're saying that leftism is more populist, which is probably true. But I mean,
No,
the
I mean,
UK
like,
currently has a conservative government. I don't think the Conservatives are going anywhere, or they're dying.
I don't think leftists
They
are
have plenty of power, plenty of opinions, plenty of people
Yeah.
listen to them.
I don't think
Do I think left people on the internet are a bit louder? Yeah, that's probably true.
I don't think leftists are populists. I think they're I think they're an artificial simulation of the people, but they're not actually the people. Like they're an artificial
You
simulation.
think they're NPCs?
Yeah, they're an artificial simulation of the masses, but they're not really the masses. They're just an artificial, fake, simulated version. And
I mean, isn't the point of the masses? It's just everybody, right?
yeah, to me, like, I think my critique of conservatives is that they're not conservative enough, basically.
There are plenty of very alt-right. In what way would you want them to be more conservative?
I don't think the alt-right is really conservative. I think they're anarchists. I don't actually think they're real conservatives. Because a real conservative is like Dave Chappelle. I think Dave Chappelle is a real conservative. He focuses on what he considers the truth, and he doesn't focus only on being edgy, And being edgy means you're letting
I mean,
someone else...
I do think some of his comedy was fairly edgy. If not edgy, provocative. I think provocative is a better word.
Yeah, but he still is focused. Like Dave Chappelle, for example, it talks about the real world in provocative ways. But he doesn't dedicate everything he does to triggering people, to triggering those lefty people. Because if you let yourself...
I mean, if you want my opinion on it, I think he got fed up, and that was the byproduct of his entire show. It's just him being annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm really annoyed too, though. Like I really hate like I'm always getting canceled by lefties, and I really feel like it's the corruption of the Catholic Church during the Middle Ages, where it's like,
okay, well, when was the last time you were cancelled by a lefty? What happened?
Well, where to start? Well, they're calling me a Nazi because I said Netflix employees are not proletarians.
Okay. I mean, they are part of a capitalist company.
I mean, like, okay, don't think as a leftist. Just think as like a normal person, right? Like an everyday.
Think as a normal person. I'm not a leftist.
Just think
so
as
I'm
like
not
an
thinking as a
everyday,
leftist.
like run of the mill person you just find on the street. Okay, let's say someone says, okay, this person is a Netflix an employee who is a writer, or there's some kind of like salaried cushion job. Like, does that evoke the working class in your head?
No, not particularly.
Yeah, but everyone on Twitter is saying that they're the real working class, and that people who work with their hands are actually settlers.
The real working class trying to make money just to eat.
Yeah.
They got better things to do than storm outside of Netflix. Especially in America, where I could complain a lot about your healthcare system, etc., etc. Quite different from the UK.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to be mean about another country that I don't live in.
Yeah, don't you think
So-
that leftists are the ones who hurt Jeremy Corbyn the most?
Oh, definitely. The analogy I used earlier was the snake eating its tail.
Yeah.
That was Jeremy Corbyn. He wasn't quite likable enough to win enough people over, but that wasn't his fault. It was the whole anti-Semites in the Labour Party and him apparently not doing enough at the time. I don't know.
Well, I
if
mean,
it
like
made any difference.
but he never reached out to the working class, so that's why he was able to be smeared by the establishment, because he, like, all the rank and file were just students. These were just
So
students.
that's not actually true. He would go on the ground very often to talk to people. Jeremy Corbyn's issue is, and
No, I know,
with a
but
lot
he
of
pandered-
leftists, their
he
issue
pandered
is
a
not
lot
even
to-
the pandering; it's looking like you're better than other people.
Yeah,
makes
but
you
yeah, he
incredibly
pandered a lot to, like, the
unlikable.
he pandered a lot to the lefty virtue signalers, where, like, his approach to, for example, immigration and multiculturalism was extremely virtue signaling, and he was like, oh, he was basically indistinguishable from a liberal. Like, shouldn't he have a working class stance that's, while it doesn't have to be right wing per se, shouldn't it be different from the liberals in the sense of, like, it's gonna resonate with working people and you're gonna get on their level? Like, he just has this condescending stance that, like,
Yes, he is condescending.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit patronizing. It's a problem. It's not just being.
Don't you think he should have doubled down on Brexit?
Double down? What do
Yeah.
you mean?
Like, he should have been the champion of Brexit after the vote. At least after the vote, after they voted to leave, he should have just been like, okay, we are leaving.
I mean, I'm not incredibly keen
But
on the fact
after
that
they
we're going through
voted-
Brexit at the moment. Like, we're constantly running out of food because we don't have enough bloody truck drivers. No
But
one
we're-
wants
we're
to pick
running out of food
fruit
too.
in our. No one wants to pick fruit and veg and do anything helpful in our
But he-
country.
here's the
We
thing, we're
rely on
running-
foreigners to do it.
we're
a bunch
running
of
out of,
lazy assholes.
We're running out of food too, though. So that's happening all across. That's food prices. But also,
No. So it's predominantly truck drivers.
no, for us,
Was our
it's the-
issue.
it's
I don't know what your issue in America is, but that was our issue. Also, energy prices.
But hold
There's a lot
on.
of things
Also,
that
Jeremy
complain about.
Corbyn had a really based thing he wanted to do back in 2015, where he said, we want to re-industrialize Britain, bring back industry, no more service economy bullshit. We're going to actually have real jobs again. We're going to build up our economy domestically. And he scrapped all of that because the students and the IT tech workers and all of these kind of, like, lefties from Momentum were offended by that because they hate the idea of having to work with their hands, and they just want to, they
Yeah,
basi-
so the not wanting to work with their hands is a universal thing for absolutely everyone in England.
yeah, but, like, they were
So
offended.
it's popular to nobody.
Yeah, but
unfortunately.
English workers want good industry, high-paying, good jobs. They want good jobs, industry jobs. They don't want to be laid off and have to, like, work in the service industry.
I mean, that's true, but they were offering more money for these jobs, and still no one was wanting to do them. They were offering far more.
Yeah, and I know because Corbyn didn't win as, like, the working class candidate, and he didn't promote, like, the
True,
work.
but if Brexit hadn't have happened, we wouldn't be at a lack of foreigners right now. So
I
it's
think-
but
don't you
either
think
way,
the EU
not great.
Don't you think the EU is kind of sus because, like, you can't even vote for the leaders of the EU? So, like, isn't it really weird how the British? Because it's like, this is how I understand it. It's
I
like
mean, we can have seats.
the British workers lost all of their jobs, they lost all their industry and their livelihood, and they were
Okay.
told they have to be service workers now, and they have to be accountable to the undemocratic EU.
Sorry, I missed that part. I was moving my keyboard. What was the question?
Is that under the EU, the English workers lost their jobs and industry, and they were accountable to an undemocratic EU that they couldn't even elect or vote for. Like, don't you think Brexit was about regaining sovereignty? And shouldn't Corbyn have been the working man's hero who's going to... do you know who George Galloway is?
I actually don't.
Oh, he's really based. He's actually the most based man in all of the UK.
Okay, I will Google him. What is he? What does he do?
He is. If Galloway was in charge, he would have won that election easily.
Former member of parliament. Okay, leader of the Workers' Party. Oh, okay. I don't know too much about that party. That's interesting. It's an independent party, right? Oh, actually, I have heard of this guy. I'm just reading.
Don't you think he's the most handsome old man in Britain?
A little bit old for me. I'm sorry.
No, like as an old guy. As an old
guy, he looks like a nice enough guy. Sure.
Yeah, he's extreme. And you know, it's never a coincidence, right? Like what people look like on the outside reflects the inside.
So all ugly people are evil.
Yes, I've literally been saying that for so long. No, be honest. Don't you think that's true? Don't all ugly people eventually let you down?
I mean, ugly men might turn into incels and murder me, I guess.
No, be honest. Like in your life experience, hasn't every single ugly person let you down in some kind of way?
I'm genuinely trying to think of an ugly person I've ever known.
No, be honest.
I can't think of one.
There have been ugly people.
I don't know if that makes me sound bad now that I don't.
Okay, think of all the people who've let you down. What do they have in common?
I don't know if I want to talk about that.
They're all ugly.
They're all men.
Yeah, but they're ugly.
I mean, that might be true. Who knows?
Okay. Think about all the women who have disappointed you in life.
Genuinely trying to think.
Like, I used to be like you, where I used to give ugly men a chance. I used to give them a chance. I used to give ugly people a chance where I'd be like, okay, you're probably a good person deep down. I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. And then every single time, I see why they're ugly on the outside. Because it's actually how they really are.
Isn't that like the Roald Dahl kids book? Where
It's
you're
true.
like, if you're lovely on the inside, it shows on the outside.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
to an extent, it depends really what we're defining as ugly, which is probably why I'm having trouble thinking.
Well, like I used to always give ugly people a chance to like, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt, and they, oh, this is a good person, you know, they're just ugly, whatever, and then it turns out they're the worst scumbag ever.
Sounds like me talking about men.
No, but think about it.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think ugly people should be eliminated from society. We do have to deal with them, but don't you think ugly people should not be allowed to have a platform on the internet, B, should not be allowed to have social media and type on the internet and share information, and C, they should never be allowed to be in power. And also,
we have to get rid of quite a few of our politicians.
Also, let me tell you something.
Define them by ugly. I don't think Boris Johnson would pass.
Don't you think, for example, let me tell you this too. Don't you think when you watch TV, like this, let me tell you why I like South Korean shows more than American shows. Because American shows are all full of ugly people now because they want to be relatable.
Wait, do you watch K-dramas?
Yeah, I do. American shows, huh?
That is the last thing I would ever imagine you to watch. That's funny.
No, I watch them. And I have a TV girlfriend. Do you know what that is?
Sure, it's one of the actresses you like.
No, she's actually my girlfriend, but she doesn't know it yet, and it's only through the TV. But
Okay.
anyway,
I can recommend K-dramas if you ever want any.
I think I've watched all the good ones, but all like the sci-fi
all of them.
ones. But
Jesus.
So what I'm trying to say is so with American TV shows, it's all ugly, and movies, it's all ugly people now because they're politically correct and they want to be relatable and they want to defy beauty standards, and it's just all the ugly people, right? But even if
Sometimes I will say sometimes they make things a little bit too I don't want to say diverse, but there is diverse in a way
like
more
that,
than
not
it needs
diverse
to be.
like ethnically, but just by like
Yeah,
looks, just looks wise. Like they just
sure,
bring like ugly people, right? Like
sure.
diverse
Sometimes
in the
it
sense
depends on the
of
show, right?
looks, just in the sense of looks. But
I mean, if you're gonna compare it to K dramas, then yeah, everyone's gonna look hideous.
yeah. So even if I was ugly and they were trying to relate to me, wouldn't it be the case that since I'm ugly and I just see ugly people all around me, if I'm a normal person, I got back home from work, I want to turn on the TV and see good-looking people because they're rare and they're nice to look at, right?
Sure, I think that in reality we know that TV is not real life. We don't need to be looking at
Yeah. Why have they taken
things that are
out?
100% the same.
Why
Especially since
why
it's
is there's
supposed to be
no
a
more beautiful?
fantasy. Yeah.
Like I haven't seen one American TV show or movie in the past 2 years with an attractive cast, except Uncut Gems, Julia Fox. But that was the only exception. Everyone else is ugly, and that's why I can't watch American TV. I have to watch Korean because all of the Korean people. Actually, there's some. So Squid Game there's everyone that there's like the North Korean girl. She's attractive, but pretty much everyone's ugly in that show, right? So there's some Korean shows where they have ugly people, but most of them are just full of attractive people. And that's honestly what I like to look at.
I mean, that's fair. I think a lot of people do. And I think that there being an element of fantasy in television is important because it's meant to be escapism.
All right,
It's not
be
really
honest,
meant
be
to
honest. Who do you think is actually more attractive? Just be honest. Just be honest. North Korean or South Korean men? Be honest.
The men?
Yes. Like, who do you think of as, like, more manly?
I'll be honest, I've not exactly looked at a lot of North Korean
Like,
men.
when you think of a
I know
Chad,
the majority
which
are in
one?
the military.
Yeah, like, just try to close your eyes and just think instinctually.
I don't think I would say North Korean. I mean,
okay,
I've seen a lot more on South Korean. So
No, close your eyes and think instinctually as a woman. What
well, I'm gonna close my eyes and think of Kim Jong-un.
What is more Chad, North Korea or South Korea? Which one?
Why?
Like, which one reminds you
Which
of
is more
Matt?
Chad? I mean, which is more likely to kill me?
No. Think of, like, who's more masculine. Think of masculine energy.
Do you not think South Korean men have any masculine?
No,
energy?
they do, but, like, who has more?
Yeah, but it's more better.
Who's more Chad, like, spiritually? Chad.
More is not always better.
Okay, but just can you answer the question?
Balance is good. I mean, I imagine that masculinity is beaten into the people in North Korea, but also that's for the ones that can't eat. They're probably not.
And
that
okay,
masculine.
if you look at North Koreans, they're all tan.
The further you go north,
They're very
skinnier you
tan.
get.
They're very tan. They're beautiful. They're very tan and bulky. And I think North Koreans are some of the most beautiful people in the world. Not gonna lie. They're the same people as South Koreans, but they just tan more, right? And they're more rough outside and they work outside and stuff. So,
I mean, I'm not gonna hate an entire country's appearance, so that's fine.
don't you think North Koreans are happier probably than us? Think about it. Just think about it. Aren't they happier than us?
No.
Why not?
Well, I've watched quite a few YouTube videos from people that have defected from.
Those
North
are
Korea.
fake. Oh my god. They're literally lying for attention.
They're all fake.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. They're all lying for attention.
Interesting. I mean, some of them have footage of them escaping.
I mean, okay. Look, I think you will never admit this. If you lived in a country like North Korea, as a woman, you would be so much happier because you would be surrounded by strong men all the time. There would be no weakling men.
I mean, I would
anywhere.
have a husband picked for me and be forced to have kids and probably beaten.
No, you're putting it the wrong way. There would
And they also
literally
have
just be, listen. There
work
would be,
camps as well.
okay, Kelly, what do you like to be surrounded by better, strong men or weaklings?
I mean, if I had the option, no men. That's a good option.
Have most of the men in your life been conservatives or left wing?
I would say two of them had somewhat, I guess, conservative views, but they weren't really conservative. Like, they were progressive in some ways and conservative in others. And I think that can be very common with a lot of men, honestly. They have some conservative views.
Don't you think when you think of like a left-wing man, you think of like a weakling? Just be
No,
honest.
I tend to see people as individuals.
No, just think of it in your head. Like, think of a guy who's
No.
like, he says, for example, like, think of a guy who's like, he watches he listens to podcasts like Chapo Trap House. Don't you think he basically like, he has very weak shoulders and he's just weak?
I don't even know what that is, but
It's like a podcast.
no,
Okay,
no.
think of.
I don't know why it is other men want to see themselves as a blob group. Like, don't you want to be seen as an individual?
No, I actually want to be seen as part of my tribe.
No, why?
Because I want to be seen as part of my tribe.
But you can still be an individual and part of a tribe.
Let me try to
Yes.
think and put it this way, right? Don't you think? Okay, do you think? Think about this. Think about. Just close your eye and think of a guy. Think of a man who goes on Twitter, and he's just a lefty Twitter cancel guy, and he's just like talking on Twitter as a canceling guy, and he's quote tweeting people, and he's like canceling them. And what do you think about his masculinity? Just reflexively.
I don't necessarily think the political views align directly with masculinity.
No, just like imagine. What do you think?
I can't imagine that because it's not enough information. I would need way
That's
more,
just-
and I also don't think it's conducive to a conversation anyway. Like,
It's
you're trying to get me to imagine that leftist people are all weirdly human beings, but
you know they are.
no, I see people as individuals.
All right, can you name one
Name one what?
exception?
Exception of what?
A leftist
one
male
leftist person?
on Twitter who isn't soy.
Oh god, I don't follow many people on Twitter that are men. Most of the people I follow are like fucking girls, big tits. Like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, the only men I follow on Twitter are probably other Twitch streamers. So it depends what you think of other Twitch streamers.
What about Hassan?
She a
viewers?
lesbian.
What about
No,
viewers
I
of
am
Hassan?
bisexual. I'm not a lesbian.
What about
do I
viewers
think
of Hassan Piker?
I think that he says a lot and then never does anything about the things that he says, which is very unfortunate.
That's true, but aren't the
Thing to
viewers?
be.
Aren't most of his viewers ugly? Be honest.
I've never seen most of his viewers. How would I know that?
No, just think about it in your head. Like,
They're just
seriously.
nameless, faceless people. In
All
the
right,
chat.
let's say you're on a date and a guy goes, "Yeah, I watched Hassan." What then?
I would ask him what he means by that.
Really?
Yes.
He just.
If he
watches
was
it.
really into going to brothels, that would probably not be a great date.
Do you know who Vaush is? Vaush?
Is it Vosh? Vosh? Vaguely.
You know who he is?
Yes.
Have you seen him before?
Vaguely, I know of him, yes.
Does he remind you of masculinity? Be honest. I'll show you.
Let me Google a
Watch my
picture.
stream. I'm gonna show you.
Oh, okay.
Bausch. I'm just gonna show a picture of him, and just tell me if this is what you think of when you think of like a man. Like, is this a man? Is this like what you consider like a real
Oh,
man?
I'm probably the worst person to ask because I really don't have any defined
What? Okay. What?
of what a man is. I mean, he's definitely not my type.
I don't think he's
But
anyone's
he is
type.
a man.
But what about that one?
Oh, is there another one?
Yeah.
Is that the same guy?
Don't you think this is like repulsive?
I wouldn't say repulsive, but not my type.
No, be honest. Like, what if this guy like came up to you and he like?
I mean, I've seen way uglier people.
But what if this guy came up to you and he was like, he was trying to like flirt with you and stuff? Wouldn't you be kind of like uncomfortable?
I'm uncomfortable when anyone flirts with me.
No, but
So,
wouldn't you be
very bad
uncomfortable?
question.
Wouldn't you be
Pardon?
uncomfortable, like in the sense of like, you know, like this is creepy? Wouldn't you think of him as creepy?
I wouldn't assume that someone is creepy unless they behave creepy, even if they are incredibly unattractive.
And he is
Creepiness is, as a behavior is far more alarming than as an appearance.
He is incredibly unattractive. Right?
Not my type, no.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not really anyone's type, I'm gonna be honest. He's really not anyone's type. But
I mean, there are plenty of ugly women.
do you know,
out there
okay,
too,
did you
right
know
now.
that this guy Vaush has said, now I want you to keep your eye on him, and let me tell you something. That's not a joke, it's not a lie. He said there's nothing morally wrong with watching CP.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What is the context of that? Because that's obviously an awful thing to
He
say.
said there's nothing wrong with it because you're not harming the children yourself, and you're also using computers that come from child labor, so it's okay.
The fuck? Okay, obviously that's incorrect.
Is
I
that
don't need to explain how terrible that is, do I?
okay?
It's obviously if you watch CP, you're supporting an exploitative
And
industry.
if you and he also said he would he thinks it's okay to have a quote, and I'm gonna quote him, child robot to use for sexual purposes.
Did he really say this?
Yes, there's Discord
Is
laws.
he just are you
Yes!
just memeing?
He did.
Who would say that?
Okay,
insane.
and so after I told you, shouldn't you have just been honest when I said he's creepy?
I mean, now that I know his behavior.
No,
it's
but it
creepy to
matches
me.
how he
Yes.
looks, doesn't it?
Sometimes, yes.
It does match how he looks.
In this case, yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But it doesn't always.
Intuition is always correct.
I've met plenty of incredibly attractive men that turned out to be massive creeps. So yeah, you can't base your opinions on stereotypes. You know, that's how you get fucked.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna watch this video. It's Channel
It's the
5.
video. Am I getting kicked?
You can watch it if you can stay if you want.
All right, all right.
All right. All right. I'm gonna play it.
Uhuru, everybody! Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I just want to welcome all of you today and thank all of you for coming out to the March for Reparations to African People. Uhuru! Give yourselves all a round of applause!
Yep. I'm a descendant of settlers, and I believe in reparations in order to heal our nation. And we need to address racially based climate change in order to save our planet, in order to save this race. And we need to give reparations.
These are the people who canceled me on Twitter, and they say they're real revolutionaries who are doing real action in real life. And this is who they are.
Whilst I say this does obviously look very cringy.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of cringy protests in my time of people of all political leanings. So
this is what they're doing, but on Twitter every day, these are the people attacking me.
Before
I mean,
we're going to
people
be
that
able
sit
to
around on
heal
Twitter attacking anyone, obviously,
anything, including our planet.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you. Your heart's in the right place. Damn. Uhuru.
Breaking news. Breaking news. You're watching Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan.
You're probably wondering what you're watching. I'm your host, Andrew Callahan, and that footage was from the Uhuru Reparations March on the streets of Oakland, California. At the time of this rally, I was a few hours south in Hollywood.
Jackson with the 40. Thank you so much, man. Yo, Kelly, did you know me and Jackson are going to Austin?
Yes, Adriana
Really?
was talking about it. Yeah,
How did you know that?
Adriana was talking about it
Oh,
in Discord.
oh
You
yeah.
should come back to Circus Discord.
No.
Well, why do you not want to make up?
Well, it's not that we just cut ties. We completely cut ties.
You don't have to.
He did. He did. He wanted to. That's what he wanted.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Why is he still following you then? And you've unfollowed him?
How do you know that?
It's Twitter, isn't it?
Huh?
It's Twitter, isn't it? Can tell.
Wait, did you check my Twitter? What the fuck?
Yep. I mean, you were just talking about Twitter 2 minutes ago. Of course I did.
I don't know, because that's what he wanted to. He got mad about the chipmunk thing, and
Didn't you get mad about it though?
No.
So only he was mad.
He was mad and he took it seriously, and then I got mad because he was serious about it.
Did you seem like you were mad?
I mean, obviously,
I wasn't
but
there to see it. So.
yeah, obviously. I mean, I explained all of it 2 days ago, but yeah, it was a chipmunk thing.
Yeah, it's by far the most bizarre reason I've ever seen any two people fall out.
Yeah, but
I mean, if it is as silly as that, then maybe it will get fixed. I don't see why not.
Let me play.
An anti-vax march.
Here we are.
Well,
Channel
just don't
5
say
live
never,
worldwide.
because there's no reason why bridges have to be burned forever. It's unnecessary. If you get along most of the time, having an argument every now and then is fine, isn't it?
Look, I'm just gonna respect his decision. You know, like I don't want to. I think he had his reasons. He had his maybe another reason, and this was just an excuse. But no, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you feel like the ball is in his court. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He has been very quiet last few days. I did notice that he was streaming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about him. You know? I don't want to.
Yeah, no, that's fair. If it makes you
Hollywood
uncomfortable. I was just curious.
Freedom March.
But the night before, we caught wind of a very important day, the National Day for African Reparations, hosted by an organization called Uhuru Solidarity, whose slogan is white solidarity with black power.
As white people, we have always upheld the lie that America is the home of freedom and democracy.
Is this a parody?
But the reality is
I
very
can't tell.
different. Long before Trump and the cries of fascism,
But these are the people who always like. These are the people who call me a Nazi on Twitter.
African people were catching
Wait, they
hell.
call you a Nazi, not just a fascist, a Nazi.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Something is wrong with this
I mean, I've
reality.
called you a fascist because it's funny.
Because every opportunity
I know, but these people are serious.
and amenity I have has been at the expense of my black and brown brothers and sisters around the world. You owe money. If you don't give it, we're going to come take it.
Coming to take it.
Uh-huh.
The fuck is that?
And I've seen Prince take it, all right?
So while I was busy in Hollywood at the anti-vax rally, we sent our African studies correspondent, Saddam, to the Bay Area to figure out what the hell's going on.
My mama always told me by that wall.
It's gotta be at least part parody.
No, it's
I
serious.
refuse to believe.
No, you don't.
This guy in the balaclava, man. What is this?
Listen, and by the way, Kelly, all this stuff is coming to the UK. All the American leftist stuff comes to the UK eventually, and this stuff's coming too. All this weird stuff.
Oh, I think it's very much parody. I mean, it depends on which part of leftism you're referring to. But also, I do believe that people have the right to, I don't know, protest whatever they want, as long as they don't mind other people making fun of them, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not like we can say, oh, you can protest, but not you.
well, they can protest, but like, I have the right to, like, they can't tell me like that. Like, for example, a lot of people are like, oh, what are you doing? You're just Twitch streaming, but like, this is what they're doing. For example, you know.
Sure.
I'm sorry, ma, I got right in that water. I ain't ever noticed I was going deep in.
Uhuru. We are here at Snow Park. It's one of the whitest parks I've ever seen. We're going to see the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. It's a bunch of white people that believe in African reparations. They want to give us money, so let's get some money.
The United States of America was built on stolen land and stolen labor. The African People's Socialist Party was putting forward the figure of $4.1 trillion in unpaid labor. It's really about we as white people confronting our privilege in this system. And not just confronting it ideologically, but confronting it actually by giving back.
Can I have $5?
Are you serious?
Yes.
You got
No way. Oh man, no guys, I'm the bad guy, right? I'm the weird one, right? Everyone just makes fun of me. These are the normal people, right?
Change?
Depends on your definition of
sorry.
normal, I suppose.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. What's going on?
We're here marching for reparations for African people. We want reparations.
How would you like to see like reparations being used like in the black community?
I think that's up to the black people and how they want to do it.
That's true. That's true. Can I get $5?
Of course. I only have a 20. Does that work?
That works. Yeah, $20 is cool.
Damn, free money. Oh no! What the fuck?
Thank you. I love you.
I love you back.
Hey.
We're with the Freedom Socialist Party, so we're a socialist, feminist, anti-racist, international party. Again, coming from an anti-capitalist perspective, we do think that redistribution.
So these people are the reason that I'm getting called misogynistic on Twitter. Yeah.
I mean, I think partly that has to do with you saying you hate women.
Yeah, but
obviously I know you probably don't mean it, but you know, people that don't know you, they're going to take that out of context, aren't they?
Would you be comfortable with these people raising your children?
Why would these people be raising my children?
Like in school, like that's their teacher.
Are they teachers? I mean, you're talking a hypothetical
They can be.
situation. I mean, whether a teacher is good or not depends entirely on whether they're just teaching the module they're supposed to be, right? And when I went to school, I don't remember any teachers pushing their political views on me at all. I don't know if that's
We live in a
common.
new age where this is what's going to be taught.
Maybe. I mean,
what do you
I
think
can't.
about the statues thing? Like remember in England how they're tearing down statues?
Statues.
I think that's
I think it was like one or two. I don't remember what they were for. Can't say I remember caring a huge amount.
Don't you think it was dumb though?
I mean, was it particularly important? I as far as I remember, the ones in the US were sort of slave owners, weren't they? So were they the same in the UK? I don't know. Maybe.
Distributing the
They're
wealth.
very minor things that don't tend to concern me. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Is gonna need
I
to
don't care.
happen for any liberation to really happen.
Hell yeah. Can I have $5?
That's not the massive reparations. Where it comes from matters, and it needs to be paid by the people that have reaped the benefits.
We are for reparations. We are, actually working on, a pamphlet on what, the specifics should be. But reparations are a just demand. When you have people that were stolen from their countries and then tell them, oh, hey, you're free now, but we're going to still let people, discriminate against you. You need to make things right through reparations.
And that's mega corporations, and it is the capitalist system. And I don't think it's, I'd give you $5 if I had it, but I don't think it's for any individual who's part of the working class. Again, I don't have it the way I should have it under this system either. So it's not so much, I don't think, for any working class or per person to provide that personally, but to be in a movement that's demanding that happen at a systemic level. And again, tax the rich to get schools, tax the rich to make housing, tax the rich to pay for reparations. That's where I would come at it from.
So someone actually came in my VC earlier today, and they were screaming at me, telling me that they were going to the reparations march, and I think this is the one they were talking about.
This is a reparations.
Yeah,
march.
he said I do real world activism. I went to the reparations march. I think this is what he was talking about, but apparently this is real world action,
Yeah, I mean, any protest of this size is just kind of sad, regardless of what it's standing for, right?
Right now,
yeah. Did you know that
This is a little bit
we're
pathetic.
doing a protest of our own, and hundreds of people are attending. Hundreds already checked in and confirmed. We're going to Portland, Oregon, and it's going to be called the Solidarity with Netflix March. And we're in solidarity with Netflix to fire the striking employees. Netflix.
Why do you care about a capitalist company like Netflix then?
Because it's a tactical battle in a longer war, and the tactical battle We want Netflix to fire them, and then in the long term,
Do you really think Netflix needs help?
yes,
No, they don't.
yeah, they do.
A multi-million-dollar company, they're probably billion-dollar company for all I know. You know, they don't need help. They can hire whoever the fuck they want to fight their battles.
Yeah, I know, but they need us to show them support, just so they know it's okay to fire them. Like, they don't want to get canceled, right? Because, like, we're basically... I have people in my community, they're doubling up on their Netflix subscriptions just to show solidarity with Netflix.
I mean, I haven't cancelled my Netflix subscription. I really don't think anyone has or likely will do.
Yeah.
But also, I think going to out to protest to support Netflix is by far the most bizarre thing I've also ever heard. So...
I honestly think we need to
Also in
show
Portland,
solidarity.
Oregon.
Well, I think Netflix is being oppressed by these people. Because you imagine working at Netflix and these people are walking around yelling all the time with signs and stuff.
Oppressed. No, these people are a mild annoyance to them. What do you mean? They're like flies.
But
they
it's
just
every
swat
day
away.
that they're doing it.
Yeah, that's a lot of flies, isn't it? But the shit eventually stops stinking. Look away.
Yeah, true. But someone has to... Someone has
Netflix
to...
are not being oppressed. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
All
not
Netflix
what
wants to
oppression
do
is.
is give people good content, but
And they're still doing that.
did you
Literally
see
used
the
Netflix
demands of the
earlier today.
protesters?
I mean, they can demand what they want.
Let
Doesn't
me
mean they
show
don't
you
get
their
anything, does
demands.
it?
Hold on. Let me see their demands. Netflix protesters' demands. They have the complete list of the protesters' demands revealed. Okay.
The absolute most they could ever get is to get Dave Chappelle's special taken off, and I don't think they're going to succeed.
So they want to eliminate all references and imagery of Chappelle in the workplace. They want to acknowledge that the special causes harm to the trans community. Trans and non-binary content investment. So they want Netflix to invest in unpopular things that people don't want, but that the people who work there want. So that Netflix is going to invest in stuff that people don't want to watch, and instead of getting
Netflix does that already, investing in stuff
don't you
that
think it's
is a
racist?
miss,
Because
you know,
instead
so
of
not everything can be a hit that you produce.
so
you know?
instead of me getting to watch shows with my beautiful wife,
You'll still K-dramas are very
No,
popular.
they're gonna
They're not
replace them with
suddenly
this
remove-
stuff.
No, they're not.
yeah.
Making more content doesn't mean removing some content. K-dramas are incredibly.
But why should
popular.
Well, it's money taken spent elsewhere. Why can't Netflix invest in the good stuff
You don't
instead
think
of that?
that Netflix has an infinite pool?
Then
at
they
this
said
point?
investment in trans or non-binary content on Netflix. What does non-binary mean? What is that?
People that don't really ascribe to female or male.
What percent of people view things that way?
Probably quite small. I think it's 1.34 million transgender-ish people in the US,
No, I mean,
which
but
is
most
about
trans
0.3%. So it's probably somewhere in the region of 0.1%.
But most trans people are binary, right? They actually have,
Yes,
they
but
choose
they're
it.
under the transgender umbrella, so we have to say it's a percentage of that. So it's.
So
how
I don't know
much?
why
Don't
they.
know.
Yeah, I don't know why that's like the most pressing. Are they the most oppressed group in our society or something? Or I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean oppression isn't like a what's the word? Like a step ladder.
Is it like the most important thing going on right now, or like because people are there's like a food shortage and stuff going
No,
on. So
I don't think it's the most important. Also, classism and poverty is very, very important, and that is oppressive, and it is privilege, right? You're not in poverty. We talk about privileges, which are a bit separate from just LGBTQ stuff.
yeah, investment in multiple trans creators to make both scripted and unscripted programs. Do you think people should be invested in just because they're trans or because they make good content? Like, isn't it kind of like leechy to just be like, yeah, invest in me as a creator because of my sexual background instead of what I'm actually writing being good.
So I do think that representation to a point is important. Do I think that that warrants Netflix making a bunch of shows? No, not really. There are a couple of transgender actors.
What do you think about this one? Because this one's really interesting. Recruit trans people for leadership roles in the company and promote an inclusive environment for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a weird one, isn't it, really? They're a very small percentage of the population, so they would need to be qualified for working at a position in Netflix already, right? And they're advocating for a position of power as well.
So, like,
I mean, if they're a well-run enough company, they should already have a department that deals with things such as diversity. That's not HR. But
I think Netflix should just fire them. Why shouldn't they?
Well, so I haven't looked recently into who is protesting for what. I do know that one of them was fired because she leaked information, or she got into a meeting. Do
you know the manager responsible for the firing? Because I'm gonna go follow him or them right now. I'll go follow them.
Responsible for the firing? No, I don't imagine that would have been made.
Whoever fired them, I'm gonna go give them a follow and maybe even shout them out
to help the poor oppressed Netflix millionaires.
Yeah, because honestly, no one's speaking out for Netflix.
That's like people that stick up for Hassan, I do not see the irony there.
I mean, technically, Netflix is really oppressed because they're not. Think about.
You don't even believe that.
Think about what is the definition of oppression. Oppression means you are being oppressed and unable to be yourself. Netflix is unable to make very good...
Netflix is a company. It's not being itself.
Netflix is being weighed down by political correctness. They can't do all the things they should be doing because the politically correct are oppressing them.
I mean, there's an argument over one show.
No, it's in general. Like, Netflix shows are stupid. They really suck now,
You literally just said that you watch a lot of Netflix, and I do too. Like, that can't be true.
But I've noticed
watch Netflix and also keep saying it sucks.
Like every time,
and also want to help them.
Let me give you an example.
Netflix, you suck, but I really want to go to bat for you because you're oppressed.
when I watch Netflix shows, all I see is Twitter. I just see like this is for Twitter, so Twitter can like this show. It's all for Twitter lefties to like.
I mean, are all of the shows on Netflix for you? No, not for
also,
me either. Like, we can't like everything on Netflix, right?
Also, why didn't anyone go on strike when Netflix made Cuties, the pedophile show?
I have no idea what that is.
There was a really nasty show on Netflix called Cuties, and it was really pedo content, and no one went on strike. No one protested or walked out.
Was it like a beauty pageant or something?
Worse. It was like exploring child sexuality or some shit.
Okay, that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about it, so...
Yeah, like the Netflix employees were defending it and saying it was progressive.
So you got to bear in mind that Netflix, when you say Netflix as a company, there's for how many hundreds of people are working there, right? They don't all share the same one opinion. There'll be people at Netflix that probably also agree with these protesters, right? So you got to bear in mind, as I keep trying to tell you, Has, people are individuals.
Yeah. Let's continue this.
Hella people gave speeches, and now we're marching to the furniture store, the Uhuru furniture store. So far, I got 20 bucks. I would have got 25, but the dude didn't have change. Some of these niggas are just broke.
My name is Ali Aiello from Oakland, California, or I'm not from Oakland, California. I've lived in Oakland, California since February of this year, and I'm from New Jersey. Yeah.
All right, cool. So what are we doing here today?
Yeah, so we're out here. The organization that's putting this on is the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. We're an organization that works under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party to organize, particularly in the white community, for reparations to African people.
Africa is the future. It is the youngest continent on the planet. There is so much potential there, living there. It's so dynamic. There's so much opportunity. It is literally the future. It will drive innovation from the youth and from additional investment.
What are 3 of your favorite things about Africa?
Oh, okay. I was in West Africa and they joke a lot with each other. And so like if I'm Tore and you're Koulibaly, I'd be like, oh.
Oh, these are all the people who call me racist.
Oh, I hate secondhand cringe.
You
This
eat
is, like,
beans and you'd be
my
like,
worst
oh,
nightmare.
well, you're my slave. So yeah.
Cool. Can I get $5?
I don't have any cash, but I can Venmo you.
I only got Cash App.
Oh, I got Cash App.
Oh, okay, cool. Shout out Cash App. Cash App is the best service ever. Channel 5 Cash App gang. Shout out to Cash App. The best way to send reparations. If you were reincarnated, would you be white again?
I want to say no. I would love to be like a part of the Black community, like for real. But I also know that that's kind of like signing myself up for issues in life. But you know, I don't know, man. I like loved being in Africa, so like I would be very happy to be like a West African, like a Malian specifically. They're the best people. They're like so kind and cool and honest.
Yeah, I fuck with Mali. Oh, do you live in Oakland now?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
How long have you lived out here?
2 years.
Cool. So going into the rally, I didn't know what to expect. I realized that most of these people weren't even from Oakland. A lot of these people was from like Virginia, Boston, Santa Cruz, San Diego. And the thing about Oakland is it's
This is the same thing of white people and indigenous people. Same exact thing, by the way.
a majority Black city, right? Was it Chocolate City, as some people would say?
Is that what they said?
I think that's what they used to call cities, like Chocolate Cities or some shit like that. It was a majority Black population.
But Uhuru's platform for reparations does not address anything in the Bay Area. All the money collected at that march was supposedly going to the construction of a basketball court in St. Louis, Missouri.
Niggas love basketball. No, I'm playing though. But that's not really gonna uplift the community as much as like some type of educational institution, something that'll help people out, like free lunch programs. The basketball court seems kind of redundant to me, especially if you're in Oakland.
So Oakland has become one of the hottest rental markets in the Bay Area. Now people who've lived in the city for decades are getting pushed out.
Oh look, these are the same people gentrifying these communities. Interesting.
Well, the reality of gentrification is hitting Oakland's LGBTQ community tonight. The building that serves as headquarters for Oakland Pride has been sold to a real estate.
All of the white people who are virtue signaling and acting woke are the same people gentrifying these communities, basically shooting the price up and kicking out the Black people who live there and making it unaffordable to live there.
I mean, they might not be the same white people, but are they white people? Probably.
They're
They'll
the
be
same
white
ones.
people with money.
They're the exact same ones.
State firm.
Me and my daughter got regentified to North
Be able to
Richmond.
tell that.
Spacious
Yeah.
lofts and turn-of-the-century Victorians, West Oakland has been a hot spot for local artists and musicians.
It's kind of a quintessentially West Oakland kind of a space.
So the mayor of Oakland announced she's creating a special cabinet to look at housing and affordability.
According to the East Bay Equity Atlas, Oakland's Black community has decreased by 25% in the past 10 years and 91%.
How the fuck does Jackson live in California, guys? How do you live in this just bizarro world called California, where everything it's literally Twitter if it was a state.
Of low-income homes of color are currently in areas that are actively gentrifying or about to gentrify.
Right.
This is a result of big
I would never live in that shithole place.
I mean, I wouldn't live there either.
tax takeover of the Bay Area, which has caused home prices to rise while wages for the working class have remained the same.
I mean, we should look and see how many basketball courts are in St. Louis. It just seems extremely racist to me. I don't know. A group of all white people go to historically one of the blackest cities in California, the home of the Black Panthers, and they want to collect money from other white people, but like not marching through white neighborhoods and build a basketball court so we can ball up. It's St. Louis, Missouri, yeah, like on the other side of the country. Somewhere where the people who donated the money will never be able to see shit that might come out of there. You know what I mean? Who knows? If Michael Jackson, then oh shit. if the next Kobe Bryant come out St. Louis, Missouri from the Uhuru Solidarity basketball court, nobody in Oakland will be able to be like, I seen that kid, I grew up with him. You know what I mean? So, we decided to see what's up with people from the town, actually from the community.
Well, all I heard was white solidarity. I said, I better get the hell out of here. Shit, what the?
Wait, with what? Huh?
You're right. I didn't know what that meant. So.
Well, what are your opinions on reparations?
I agree with it. I mean, as a people, we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, all we can do is state our case.
True.
You know what I mean? Just like with anything with laws and, rights, And hopefully Congress or our local officials will step in and, and help out with that kind of a thing.
Hopefully. You think white people are evil?
No, I ain't saying all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some of them are, but some of them are not.
You think they owe us money, though?
I think they should. Somebody should, give a little something back.
I think they do.
As a start, I think that every black person in America deserves the right to know where we come from, our ancestry, and it could be done with a DNA from our government. It would, give us knowledge. It would empower us to know who we are. Where do we come from? The slave trade, everything was lost. And the government owes us as a people to know where we come from.
What are your thoughts on reparations?
I think ideally it is owed, but in reality, I don't believe that it will happen. How do you put an amount on, and where does it start and where does it stop? So how do you calculate? I mean, America would be bankrupt, right?
What if I just start asking white people for money?
No. Absolutely not. I think that's a federal government thing. We just can start asking, people for money. He don't owe me anything.
I got $20 so far.
Bye.
Reparations is not going to be, some sort of welfare check from the U.S. government, because how could a welfare check or some sort of payout or something like that ever meet the dollar amount?
Yeah, I feel so bad for these type of white liberals or whatever, because they have to walk on eggshells and they're trying to be woke. Sometimes they make a mistake and they're like, oh, I said the wrong thing. Then they get trampled on, they get piled on, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, I repent, so sorry.
I mean, they might get trampled on by the absolute worst of people, but I mean, my nan occasionally she'll say something like that's a little bit off key because she's 80s. It happens, but most people are understanding, right? If you're not being outwardly racist.
Now,
there's always an extreme end
from African people.
They really bully these people. Honestly, they beat the woke truth into them. They really just, these people are terrified. Honestly, they're like sheep.
I don't think so. People that are bullies, usually sort of narcissistic type people, and they're not limited to a political view, right?
Yeah, but they're so prevalent.
But are there? Yeah, sure.
They're all bullied into being woke,
Yeah, some of them.
How do you define what George Floyd's life was worth, in terms of the culture that he brought to the family, his role as a father, and what he brought to his community?
So who controls where all the money goes when y'all collect reparations?
The furniture store. I don't know, I think it's a great way to raise money for the movement. They also have great stuff. I've bought a lot of stuff from here. And
so what does the furniture store do with the money?
Well, I don't know exactly how they use the money, but I think they use it for the same kind of thing that we're marching for today, to build resources and to invest in the black community in the U.S. Yeah.
Does it go to the basketball court?
I'm not sure. Yeah. This is my first time volunteering.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it over? Is the cringe over?
Yeah.
Thank God for that. I can't deal with any level of cringe. Couldn't watch Borat. Can't deal with it.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I've been streaming for a long time today. 6 hours. I gotta go pack my bags and do all that kind of stuff. So I'm probably gonna end the stream.
No worries.
But yeah. See you later.
Bye.
All right, guys. We gotta have some closing remarks because this might be the last stream till Wednesday. I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow for a little bit, not too long. This was like a 7-hour, 6-hour stream, but I think I'm gonna see you guys in Austin next. I don't know. I'll keep y'all updated on what's going on, but yeah, next time you see me, probably gonna be in Austin. But I'll try to stream tomorrow. I don't know. I'll try to stream tomorrow. I don't know how much I can do it, to what extent. But you know, is there anything else I wanted to say before I go? Oh yeah, guys, you know, be vigilant on that Twitter. You know, keep the information warfare going. You know, we got a lot of people on Twitter who are, you know, still tweeting at me. Damn. Got a lot of Yo, look, oh my god, dude, the tweet I made of the announcing the solidarity with Netflix March. Yo, that's that one's going viral too. I didn't think they were gonna take the bait, but okay, apparently that one's going off too. Yo, watch someone be like, yo, you realize he's not serious. And they're like, you're coping. He was actually serious. You're coping. Yeah, dude, I was serious. You're right. Yo, Antifa's actually getting ready. They're mobilizing for next week, the 2nd. It's going to be happening. Next week, the 2nd. It's actually going to be happening. Yeah, anything else I wanted to cover? Anything else? Alright, dude, Supreme Infra, no, dude, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, nice bait. Nice bait. Yeah, I think tomorrow I'm gonna be, you know, don't worry about it. 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 All I can say, I'm actually reading this thing I wrote about Dave Chappelle like 2 years ago. Yeah. Let me see. Based. Guys, can you tell me the song that goes like that? You know the song that goes You know that song? No, it's not called Lean on Me. It's an instrumental song that's a pure hymn. I think it's called like, it's not Bill Withers' Lean on Me. It's not Lean on Me. No, it's like called like something like Ghetto Lullaby or something. It's like, It's a fucking instrumental. Does that? No one knows it? Nobody knows it? Fuck me, man. I've been looking for it. It goes, nah, nah. It's like a hum. Man. Gangster. No, it's not Gangster Paradise. It's not gang. What the fuck? Gangsta's Paradise? Fuck no, it's not. It's not Lean on Me. It's fucking literally sounds like this. It literally sounds like this. It literally sounds like a guy. It's literally a guy humming, and it sounds like this. Ready? There's no lyrics. It's just fucking a guy humming. No, it's not. You guys are fucking stupid. No, Google Voice doesn't fucking work. You guys know the song? Called like Ghetto Lullaby or some shit. No, it's not Ghetto Lullaby. What is it called? Wildman, if that's not it, you're getting banned. You're getting banned. That's not it at all. Yeah! What song is that? This is it. What is that song? See? This is it. What is that song? What is the song? Why would you link me this and not the fucking, not the actual fucking song? I have to Shazam it? Urban Lullaby. That's what it is. Fuck. I knew it, dude. Urban Lullaby. Not Ghetto Lullaby. Urban Lullaby. By who? Okay, no. This is Spotify doesn't have it. Fuck. Spotify doesn't have it. It's not Urban Seattle. It's Urban Lullaby. What the fuck? Urban Seattle? Oh! Oh, it is! This is it! Everyone listen, I'm announcing the plans for the Netflix Solidarity March. That Solidarity with Netflix March. Here's what's gonna happen. This has never been done at a march before. We're gonna walk shoulder to shoulder, hundreds of us. There's gonna be hundreds of us there. hundreds, marching in solidarity with Netflix against these people. And we're all gonna hum this song in unison. It's gonna sound quiet individually when we hum it. In unison, it's gonna be very loud. Ready? Come on. We're all gonna march. We're gonna march shoulder to shoulder, hundreds of us, in Portland, Oregon, November 2nd. Shoulder to shoulder, we're gonna march. Antifa's scared of this song, by the way. I'm gonna be leading the march. Alright guys, I will see you on the other side. I will see. Thank you so much for the sub, King Glucose. An adventure awaits us, my friends. I don't know where this adventure is going to take us, but an adventure certainly awaits. Bye, guys.